It's rolling around the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine. I don't know when. I'm just exposed to prison, and time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps rolling, all down the San Antonio. All down the San Antonio. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy. Don't ever play with guns.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the HTL Cup Series from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, as we get ready for the Myrtle Beach 200 here for HTL for the HTL Cup Series. Cars are lining up for qualifying, and we're going to get ready to go racing around one of the more unknown short tracks in Cup configurations. I'm Kristina Ryan. Alongside me today, as always, is Carmen, Sienna, and Carmen. A bit of a new look today for ABN as we get ready to bring you coverage. Walk us through some of the things here about this track and the series tonight.
All right, so this is HTL's first time visiting a track that no longer exists. The Myrtle Beach Speedway, opened in 1958 as a dirt track, was quickly converted over to a paved track in the 1970s, 1974 to be specific. Hosted a lot of events in the NASCAR circuit up until it closed in 2021. All that remains now of this track in real life is the front and back straightaways. So these drivers get to experience it, most of them for the first time here tonight. A little over half a mile is a lap around Myrtle Beach Speedway, 0.538 miles if you want to be specific. 13-degree banking in the turns, straightaways. The front stretch is at 4-degree banking, the back stretch is at 3% banking, or 3 degrees banking. So you're going to be constantly working the wheel a little bit here. Obviously, we talk about these cars and the rack and pinion steering system, a different feel, a lighter feel. These tracks typically suffer from that because these drivers just don't feel comfortable with the steering. But that's going to make qualifying very interesting because we do get 2 laps of qualifying here, as you see Angel Santiago going up first. This track is very bumpy, very abrasive, was never repaved in its existence. So we get to see all of that. You also get to see the curbing on the exit of turns 1 and 2. Cars, more often than not, have climbed over that banking or climbed over that curbing and caused accidents in the past. So it's going to be a very interesting race for a lot of drivers as they experience this for the first time at a car that is not easy on the short ovals to begin with.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you mentioned 30 minutes of 2 laps through a 30-minute session here for qualifying for these drivers to put in their times. Before we get ready, you can see the ticker at the top of your screen. You should try to keep track of these positions as they qualify. So first one on the board is Santiago, and we'll see what the rest of the field has versus him.
Santiago was the first one up. Obviously, it's going to be interesting because Santiago's listed as being the 42, but he's in the 90 right now. And I believe that's still accurate. We're both looking at the same cars. So.
Yep. Another one of those HTL musical chairs moments where your favorite driver drives 6 different numbers throughout 6 weeks.
Ours is up next. New look for this car from Melon Rave Racing to Outlaws Motorsports. 34 car. Uncharted. A little bit of pressure on the 34 tonight. I don't think it's too often much pressure, though. I don't believe is enough to force go or go home qualifying. I believe we're going to have everyone in this field start tonight. So a little bit of pressure taken off the drivers. Flowers begins his run. Looks like a little bit of latency on Flowers here.
Just a little bit, not going to help things too much, but he may not be even noticing it in the car at the time.
Straight away here. Flowers went provisional pole. 19.804 was his first lap. This lap, what does it look like? Does it improve even more? What do the trends say? Trends say first lap's fastest so far. Because that was that way with Santiago and Flowers, with Caleb Eichler up next. Actually, Eichler not on track. Michael, I think that it may have been a late scratcher, so it's Joe Rodriguez. Rodriguez in the 97, a one-off entry here tonight. And he won a rideshare car. Rudy Valentine in that car tonight. That's Rodriguez in this car.
Glad to see him still getting the ride despite Valentine showing up. Of course, Valentine always a threat to win any race he shows up to, but we've been seeing a lot of great racing out of Rodriguez so far. Goes provisional pole.
Pulling a unique livery for those that follow ABN in soccer. That's a Chivas Guadalajara livery. For those that were watching and paying attention there. Up next is Seth Wanting, I do believe.
It's actually Scott Sprinkle, I think, on the track
Scott
right
Sprinkle,
now.
because Wanting's also missing tonight. Going off the qualifying order that is not up to date.
Such as HTL's nature. It's a good thing we're past the era of printers, Carmen, because the series would not be able to keep up with it. Or the printers would not be able to keep up with it with how many things change on the fly. Sprinkle goes second fastest, a good run for them.
For Sprinkle there again, it's going to be interesting to see how many different drivers there are here, as I believe it's
Galloway.
He's on track right now. Galloway, because Withers is not here either. And then next up will be the 38 of Mark Parkhurst, his first race in almost a year. Finding an excuse to run the Kyle Larson scheme, but he's going to get dinged on points for not having the HTL banner.
Let's hope he's not near any pit walls either, because it does not seem to be the friend of that 5 car lately.
It's funny, because we talk about, for race notes, like, things to look out for. Fortunately, that pit wall is one of them. Up next is Parkhurst in the 38 for Carolina Beagle Racing.
Second fastest on the first lap. And across the line for lap 2 will be enough to take provisional pole from Rodriguez. No, it doesn't look like it. About 0.062 off. Now it's Moutre's turn in the number 44.
Trey had a violent crash last week at Indianapolis.
Yeah,
That car go up and over big time.
Yeah, probably one of the worst wrecks we've ever seen in ABN full stop. It's been a very scary month of October for ABN broadcast. It seems we've had some incredible racing and some horrendous accidents in between.
One in the Halloween spirit, I guess, trying to be spooky. Fifth fastest here on his run out of 7 cars that is a lap time so far. Up next right now.
It's Valentine.
Yep.
Was second fastest in practice and goes top of charts on lap 1.
Yeah, Rudy's one of those drivers. He doesn't race as long as he wants to, and if he wants to, it means he's good at it. So, immediately pretty highly favored here in tonight's contest.
And we'll take provisional pole. And up next now is going to be Josh Gaiman in the 61 machine, who should put
Very
up a
rough
decent
race.
challenge. Yeah, he's been having a horrible month of October, but looking to turn it around here.
Not the first time through. Is not feeling over driving here. Season planted goes 6th fastest. Not what he was looking for lap time wise, I don't think. Now we look at Zach Apperson in the 4. Here, the 4 car for Tombstone Motorsports. Tombstone as a whole trying to pick up the pieces here after a very rough opening 7 races. Halfway through the regular season is tonight's race. After tonight's race, there's 8 races left in the regular season. And it doesn't seem like any of these Tombstone Fords are really even close to the playoff line. Top 12 in points. Obviously, race winners eat into that. Apperson's first lap was enough for 8th. This lap coming up is any better. 19.21, 20.08. No is the answer to that. He will stay 8th fastest. I believe up next now is the 3 of Connor Morse. Connor Morse, someone to look out for. Won the previous short oval race.
Yep.
That short oval race at New Smyrna, that preseason event.
Similar characteristic track as well. Not just in being a short oval, but also in the sense of being kind of flat. Being one of those unforgotten, or those more forgotten tracks. He did really well, and he's been very decent throughout the season. Hasn't been quite on fire, but hasn't needed to be. He's been right where he's needed to be, and he's done a great job so far this year. And goes third fastest, so.
Sure, he's still got some pace there in Lady Liberty Motorsports machine. 3rd fastest for car 3 at the moment.
Looked good in practice, too.
Now we look at Chris Pendell in the 94. You can easily tell which cars have been painted by Dean Clavitt tonight.
We love that crazy Canadian. Though I don't think my contract lets me say that, but hi, Dean.
We get to see him plenty tomorrow night. HTL Truck Series begins at Daytona tomorrow. Pendell across the line here, 7th fastest, 19.7 on the board right now for the Deep Racing driver. And the second lap here. What does it look like for Chris Pendell?
P2.
18.5, a really good lap time, just 300 shy of Rudy Valentine. Up next now, former champion Matthew Boone.
Really
Like
solid
may
lap
have been.
out of Pendell. Sorry to cut you off, but just
No,
we've
you're
seen
good.
Pendell getting a little bit better and better every week. A really good, strong qualifying effort there.
Being former champion goes 13th fastest at the moment. Almost half a second off of Valentine and Pendell. You talk about Pendell doing a really good job improving. This is a chance. This is a wild card. This is just as much of a wild card race, I think, as Talladega is next week. Don't know what you're expecting here as Boone comes across the line. Did he improve enough? He does. The 10th place.
Something else I noticed here, I'm not sure if the graphic, of course, first time using these graphics, so not sure, but showing Boone staying in 4th gear all the way around the lap. Not sure if that's
Yes.
by design.
It is by design. Pendel did the same thing.
So, interesting thing to note there. But yeah, a decent run for the 28. 25 of Henderson on track now.
I think the interesting thing right now, I think that with how the setup's designed, a lot of the drivers, I don't think I've seen anyone really use 5th gear yet. I think the setup was maybe designed here as I think Henderson just tagged the wall there.
With that second lap, though, should be able to get away with it. But yeah, I think this will open up an opportunity if we, God forbid, get a green flag run. It would open up a nice opportunity to maybe save a little fuel, save some of those rear tires by using that 5th gear later in the run, perhaps.
Possibly a lot of opportunities. Again, the 7th gen car. Can't really say next gen because it's here. Different opportunities. It almost requires you to shift at most of these tracks. Some setup builders have tried to tune that aspect of it out at the short ovals, but it's an aspect that I think is going to be here to stay as far as the short ovals go, as Henderson went 9th fastest.
I think E-Step is next if I'm looking at the track map right, but I thought I saw a car head on course, so and now it's just updated, so it was Swatsworth in the 18 who's now on track. So there he is. And then it'll be the number 90 machine.
Swatsworth across the line here. Lap 1. 7th fastest. Not a bad lap there for Swatsworth. Using every inch of real estate there on the back straightaway. Again, every single part of this track is banked to some degree, constantly turning through it. Kept it tight on the exit of turn 4. Was that enough to gain him some more time?
Does not look like
it. Does not, because he tied the wall on the exit of turn 2. And that is lap time, as now we look at Nathan Estep.
The Chevrolet Ford. Always reminds me of the old NASCAR Thunder 2004 paint schemes where you could drive a Pontiac Chevrolet or a Dodge dealer's Ford Taurus.
Right.
I'm not really sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure what Dean painted these cars for exactly, but clearly taking the you-know-what on it.
Step was 9th fastest on his first lap, and will move up to 7th fastest ahead of Swatsworth on that second lap, 19.717 for car 90 as Donaldson heads out on track for 22. The Dean's meme machines that we're going to be unfortunately seeing a whole bunch on Tuesdays. Reminds me a lot of, most recently, the example, I think someone posted in chat of that, the CorvetteParts.net Ford Mustang that Joy used to run.
The real life example, yeah.
Yeah. A little more tasteful, but Donaldson sets a 19.922, which puts him 15th among 17 qualifiers so far. 2 cars going home in this race. So we have 38 entries, 36 starters will be what we kind of whittle it down to. 2 going home, and right now Galloway in the drop zone, as is Blowers, as Donaldson on that second lap jumps into the top 10, 7th fastest for the Jamestown Motorsports driver, 19.708. As now we look at Alfred Denny for Deep Racing. A Milwaukee native. I believe he's also running a Dean's Meme Machine, though running the correct manufacturer on this one.
Yes, but the aspect ratio is still thrown to the wayside on that. And it's all chromed out like your average D-fixed oval driver. So if Dean's going to make mean machines, at least he knows what he's doing. He makes them perfectly tasteless. Yeah.
He's consistent.
Absolutely.
Denny second lap, a 10th slower. He'll stay in 8th fastest here. As next up on the board, I believe, double check here,
I think
Jared
it's Merchant. Yeah.
here. I believe Josh Arnold is after Merchant here, as Merchant tries to qualify here tonight. I believe this is a chartered car. I believe he's back in a chartered ride tonight. Ben Roberts not present. 19th fastest for Merchant at the moment as things stand for 1MA Racing. 20.074, trying to break into the 19-second bracket. Again, Merchant safe.
He will. He does a
19.663.
19.666. So, fifth fastest and a very good second lap. Great improvement.
Absolutely. Josh Arnold up next in the Joe Logano Foundation Ford Mustang.
Something interesting there, Carmen, was using third gear through turn one.
One of the first ones we've seen do that so far. Stays in fourth gear through 3 and 4, though. Winding it up. 19.9, not too far off the pace, but runs wide. Back down to third. I think trying to use some of that engine braking, and it's just not, I don't think, working for him there.
Well, he did that on the
will wave
first.
it off.
Yeah, he did that on the first lap too. So I'm curious if that was the same mistake twice, or he tried the same thing and it didn't work. Not sure. But here's Steven Overstat back in the 31 this week.
And a charter ride for the first time. Safely end, subbing the end for Kevin Gibney Jr.,
who has been basically giving away that chartered seat for the last couple weeks, opening up a lot of opportunities for drivers.
Focusing more on a team owner role. His team has done phenomenally this season.
Absolutely.
So I would say it's probably a pretty well-earned decision there for Kevin Gibney, to do that. Overstat, first lap, 15th fastest, 19.850 for Overstat. He's safely in, but still keeping it nice and tidy, the late model stock series driver. Jumping in, 19.799 his first lap, 19.803 his second lap. He will stay 13th fastest. As we now move to Bianca Constantinu, the Road America race winner.
Did it in the car that we just saw on screen, actually. Now running back under...
Actually filling in for Coast to Coast.
Yeah, so I guess
it's
supposed to be the 13 car. I'm not sure. For whatever reason, the Trading Paints
that
really
that is on your end there.
Yeah, Trading Paints really hates Bianca for me, I guess. But she goes 22nd and will throw away that second lap, so she will have to do it from the back. Nathan Lehman will go out in the number 16 machine.
19.875 puts him 17th, right behind Ryan Moutre. Second lap has proven to be faster for some. Nathan Lehman go on the second lap. Is it enough to improve? The answer is no, off by 3 milliseconds. He can stay 17th at the moment. Ruby Estes up next, the 99 car. Estes chartered in. This car safe in the show.
Yeah, and this may benefit her too. This is a track she's probably a bit used to. She runs a lot of short tracks on the NR 2003 side of things. Experimenting also with that third gear. Currently slowest on the first lap. We'll see if she picks up some pace on the second.
One driver has failed to get into the 19 so far, and that was Constantinu just a couple cars ago. Estes driving it through. Looks like a little bit of understeer there, 3 and 4. Estes, does she improve enough not to get into the 19? She will stay 24th.
Did run a 20 flat, so quite a bit of improvement, just lacking a bit of pace.
Zach Meredith up next, the 17 machine. Sitting in 23rd position. And you're going to see some of the trendsetters moving quickly here, as Meredith just went to the top 5.
Calls it a day. Hunter Peach up next.
Peach up next, yeah. And they've got to go through some of these cars quickly, because you see the timer at the top left of your screen. 6 minutes left in the qualifying session. They have got to move. Hunter Peach, 11th fastest in that number 1 machine. For NFG Motorsports, is that a tag of the wall for Peach?
I think he brushed it, but he might get away with it. It was the lightest of touches. Oh, but that's going to cost him. Big wiggle and a spin. And he saves it, which is critical because that's going to keep us from having to pretty much delay the track. But Peltier Sharp is coming quickly in the mirror.
Sharp will begin her run. Also getting a correction that it's an hour and 5 minutes left. Plenty of time. But obviously our timer only reads minutes. They don't read hours.
Welcome to a new graphics package.
Facts. Peltier Sharp. 9th fastest so far. Has shown a lot of pace on the short ovals. Phenomenal job so far. As Ryan Pinnell now running another driver with a lot of short track experience. Now, he's at his first lap here. What is it going to look like? Where does he go? Peltier Sharp went 9th fastest. Ryan Pinnell, 20.076 is the time. 27th for car number 2.
Yeah, it looks like struggling quite a bit with the handling there. Was up about a half a lane. Was wondering if he did that on purpose or not, but it looked like he was up about a half a lane. It looks like he's got it tapered down this time, though, so it might be a better lap this time around. But he did struggle in T1. He does go faster, but he just wasn't quite able to put a full lap together. He'll be 27th tonight.
Bare minimum at the moment. Selena Thompson up next for Ascent Racing, the number 10. Had a phenomenal run at Indianapolis last week. First lap in the books for Thompson. The Alabama native, 20.179, currently slowest of anyone. But second lap we've seen recently be faster. Got to keep it out of the wall and keep it pointing in the right direction at a turn 4. Don't be too greedy on the throttle.
Oh, she's really trying, though. She used every inch of the racetrack, Carmen, and it's going to pay off a little bit. She's not going to go a whole lot faster, but she won't be last at 19.994, so she does break into the 19. She definitely was digging deep and found some extra pace.
Lilacs, you're up next for Stepping Stone Motorsports. Staying in 4th gear all the way around. Again, keep an eye on the telemetry there on your screen. Zier, rolling through the corners, was really good at Richmond last season. I think Zier's been one of the more consistent short track drivers that have come into HTL competition. Zier goes 15th fastest, 19.725. A little bit wide there out of 2. Had to taper off and back out of it. Gets planted and lowered in to 3 and 4. Across the line. Is it an improvement? It is not. Just half a tenth shy of him being able to improve there. So Zier stays 15th. Eli Sasek up next. He is the Rocket Man of the HTL Cup Series. He will finish top 2s, top 3s, top 5s. Someone's always beating him to the checkered flag, though, so far. See where Sasek ends up here in qualifying. Currently 3rd fastest, Ascent Racing. 2 of the top 3.
Yeah, excellent first lap here, and he's going to say that's good enough for him.
Yeah, he's 100% saying that's good enough. Did a fantastic job there. Top 3 for him. And now we're looking Cole Snyder, Pocono race winner, hoping that another chaotic race will bring him another victory here tonight. Through turn 4. This is his warm-up lap, I believe, so now he's officially on a flying lap here. Snyder had a pretty decent run. Obviously, inverted finishing order from Indianapolis is what determined the qualifying order, so Snyder definitely didn't have a bad race at Indy. Hoping to be able to continue that momentum here. 19.7 for Snyder is 18th place at the moment. But it is not far off. 3/10 from pole position. How much time can he gain on that? A little wide through 3 and 4. For car 24. He will gain some time. 19.632. fifth fastest. Fantastic work there by Snyder to get closer.
Yeah, and this is one of those tracks that's going to benefit him. Like you said, he won his first race at Pocono, took advantage of all the calamity, and ended up having a great shot to hang on for the win. Likewise, Indianapolis had a lot of insanity happening. He was able to find the holes where they mattered and put himself in a great finishing position. Here's Poznanski as well. So his first lap's going to be a 20.1. Only 33rd fastest, but the second lap should produce some more speed. It seems like when you're outside of the 20s, you can at least dig deep enough to maybe get it into the 19s on that second lap. And likewise right there at 19.8, jumps from 33rd all the way up to 24th for Poznanski.
Poznanski now as we look at Caitlin Height. 11 car on track here. Lap 1 for an 8-time race winner in the HTL Cup Series. Still looking to break the record. Currently level with Dustin Hall. 31st fastest for Caitlin Height, 20.011. With the lead driver in Arrowhead Racing. Little wide through 3 and 4. Keeps it planning, keeps it stable. Does she improve by a substantial amount?
Only enough for 11th, though, for car 11.
It's very tight at the top, though. Look at that gap between Valentine and Katie Height. That's a little over a tenth. There's a less than a tenth to get to the front row. And now we look at John Hagen, the driver that missed out on racing and winning the race at New Smyrna in the preseason. .668 goes 8th fastest.
Ripping the top, too, or relatively speaking, through 1 and 2. Highest we've seen anybody go, and a bit of disagreement from the rear end.
He'll be greeted down the very exit, and he will lose time there. He will stay 8th fastest.
Now it is race winner last week, Brandon Proudfoot.
Yep.
Final qualifier.
Three drivers electing not to qualify. I think serving penalties here of some regard. McDonald, Sosi, and Brea.
Oh, hate to cut you off, but Proudfoot puts down a absolute stunner, a 5.62 second place. Can he improve on the second lap?
He's going to give it a shot.
Only needs to find a 1/4 of a tenth to get pole position. That caught Valentine's attention. Is it good enough? No, but only just.
Very close. Very, very, very close. That was outstanding.
4 1/1000ths of a second. But Rudy Valentine's going to hold on for pole position here. But Proudfoot, in his element, showing that it's not going to be a walk-off win for Rudy.
What a fantastic job there for Proudfoot as well, coming off of his first win in the R-States World Cup Series yesterday at Homestead, Miami. Culture shock, not so much the case for Proudfoot. Valentine, fastest
not race winner, but yeah, fastest in qualifying. So congrats to Rudy. See him there. Well, you saw him there.
Rudy would love to see this later on tonight.
Yeah. Really good chance that he could.
Absolutely. 5-minute warm-up now underway here in Myrtle Beach. Six cars have 5 minutes around this half-mile oval. I think this is a good time as any to kind of take an eye as to what we're going to be looking for here tonight at Myrtle Beach. It's going to be a very interesting race. Obviously, a lot of different driving styles going to be clashing here tonight. So we'll see later on in tonight's race. Current conditions right now as you get ready to enter the sunset and night conditions. 76 degrees is the air temp. 79 degrees the current track temp. Winds southeast 10 miles an hour. Those to crosswinds on the back straightaway. Clear skies makes this a pretty scenic day overall. Speaking of things to keep an eye out for, here's 4 drivers that looked really good on the short ovals. Brandon Proudfoot, we just saw that second place in qualifying for the driver that last won in Gateway last season. John Hagan missed out on winning New Smyrna, finished second to Connor Morris. And Josh Sosi, what is he not good at? Finished third at New Smyrna. Current points leader, current runaway favorite to be in the championship 4. Hard not to take him, but you look at drivers like Rudy Valentine as well. A lot of drivers you can put in these top 4. These are my top 4 just based on what we've seen so far. We'll see what Valentine can do over this 200-lap race coming up here. But a safe bet in these top 4 drivers that I've picked out here for tonight's race before we head to Talladega next week.
Absolutely. Take a look. We do have our picks for tonight's win. You are sticking with Sosi, the mail always getting delivered here. And no reason not to choose it. It's been a fantastic go of it so far, but I'm going to go with his teammate because the whole Lady Liberty crew has been fantastic. We saw Connor Morse do a fantastic job at a track similar to this. We circled this one on the calendar after his win at New Smyrna. This is where I think the young kid can really, really impress us once again and really make a statement and put himself into the chase.
I see the computer picking Hunter Peach, a driver that whose only race win so far, it came at a track as far opposite to Myrtle Beach as possible. Interesting to see why the AI picked the one car tonight. Nothing against Hunter Peach. We just not seen a lot of him on these short ovals. He wasn't at New Smyrna. Wasn't at Richmond either. I think the only really big sample size we have of the one car Hunter Peach would have been Bristol in the playoffs last season.
To be fair and make an argument for him, he's done a fantastic job on a lot of tracks we have not seen him religiously do well at. So he's got the momentum on his side, and he seems to be gaining a lot of confidence with that. We saw him battling at Auto Club to defend that win, did a fantastic job there. He was running quite well at the road course at Road America. I wouldn't be shocked if we see him up and around the front by the end of this race.
Saw him experiment there with, I think, a lot of people are fearing in this race. That is the curb on pit exit. It is a nightmare leaving pit lane. These cars are a lot wider than what they typically raced here at Myrtle Beach. The modifieds and the late models and the street stocks. These cars are a lot wider, a lot bigger, a lot heavier.
Absolutely.
And he's practicing pit entry, a very critical aspect there.
Could help him out massively before this one is said and done. Of course, a lot of races won and lost on pit road. I think we both, as race car drivers ourselves, have felt both ends of that. I've had my fair share of eating pit wall. It's not very fun.
And you're not alone. A Cup Series champion ate pit wall on Sunday. So.
Yeah, yes he did. He also ate Ford Mustang rear bumper, if I'm not mistaken.
They put the snack bar here on Sunday.
We want to thank you all for being here with us at Myrtle Beach Speedway for the Myrtle Beach 200. It's one of the more unique races in the calendar for the HTL Cup Series as we move our way in. Said we're halfway through the regular season after tonight, so lots of things to keep an eye on here and lots of drivers to watch. Again, it being one of the more unique tracks on the schedule, for better or for worse. It is a wild card, as you mentioned. We head to Talladega next week, but that one is arguably more predictable than what we're going to see here tonight, Carmen.
Yeah, this track is going to be, it's going to be interesting. Again, as I mentioned at the very top of the show, for a lot of drivers, it's their first time racing at this track. Let's see what kind of experience they get here from Myrtle Beach here tonight.
Absolutely, and as the drivers get called to head down to the starting grid, that means we're a couple minutes away from the green flag here. It's a 200-lap race, a couple stage breaks in between to keep things spicy. But it's going to be all eyes on the Rudy Valentine on the front row. He will lead us down to the green flag, but he's got plenty of company. He's got Brandon Proudfoot right on the door, only 4 thousandths off of pole position. They'll make the front row.
Phenomenal job there as we look further down the order here. Brand new graphics here for the starting grid. Eli Sasek and Chris Pendell, fantastic starting positions for them. Hopefully they can stay ahead of the melee here tonight as Cole Snyder and Joel Rodriguez make up row number 3. Zach Meredith and Connor Morris make up row 4. Connor Morris, Kristina's pick to win this race. We'll start from the 8th position. John Hagan and Jared Merchant in row number 5. They make up the top 10 here tonight. Looking further down the order, top 12 is where you'll find Mark Parkhurst and Josh Galen just outside the top 10 in row 6. Row 7, Lily Peltier Sharp and Caitlin Height. That'll be a spicy row.
Yeah.
A lot of words changed between them, especially at Richmond last season. Expecting to have some high tempers tonight. Keep an eye on that row. Gary Donaldson and Alfred Denny in row 8 ahead of Nathan Eastep and Hunter Peach. Another row to look out for here tonight. Row 10, Lilac Sear having to move from the back of the field, starting in 20th position here tonight as we browse throughout the field here. Again, very short laps as we browse and cruise. Another person to look out for as some drivers will start further on back in this field. Matthew Boone, defending former series champion, in 30th place. Sienna Thompson starting from the back of the field, as well as Ruby Estes. Looking just a little bit further down, you look at Josh Sosi looking from the very back of the field, as well as Jeremy Breo, who will round out this 36-car field tonight.
Absolutely, and there's going to be plenty of things to keep an eye on a brand new racetrack with a brand new race car. Mind the bumper. You see how much damage can affect these drivers. It is a short track Saturday night vibe, even though it's Monday evening, but that's not going to stop these drivers from beating the bejesus out of each other. But you have to finish first. With that, patience also pays, but with all that in mind, it is a new track. There's plenty of new opportunities, and this might be one of the days where those old short track boys get their day in the sun versus all these mile-and-a-half speedway cookie cutter tracks. It's going to be a fun one to watch. Pace car going to pull off. We won't have to wait much longer. The fans are on their feet, and it will be led down by Valentine and last week's winner of Proudfoot. The 91 and 20 lead us down, and we're underway for the new Smyrna 200.
Green flag, let's go.
Lap 1 complete and led by Valentine, but not by more than a car length or two over the 20. It looks like Matthew Boone had a little bit of a mistake early on. Gets it going, though, and he'll continue on now, but a little bit of issues early on here, Carmen.
Absolutely, as everyone tries to figure it out, we've gotten through the first lap cleanly. Some drivers didn't think we were going to get that far. But Boone already in trouble and already going a lap down in this race. Valentine leads the way.
Yeah, we'll be in the lucky dog spot at the moment in case something is to change in the field, but as it stands through lap 3 now, you can see Proudfoot trying to work the lap traffic, but Pendel all over the back bumper, not letting this one go easy.
Yeah, Proudfoot just trying to find some rhythm here. A lot of these drivers trying to find some rhythm.
Allowed Valentine to pull away a little bit.
That action obviously not helping as everyone tries to get around Matthew Boone. Top fourth got in clear of the first piece of lap traffic here tonight, all the way to Joel Rodriguez at the 97. Five underway. Not a bad start so far to this race. Stage 1 ends on lap 40. So it's a short little sprint to get to this point as we ride on board with Brandon Proudfoot.
Caution.
Caution is out for the first time. Not sure who that was for.
Oh, that's Sasic pointed backwards on the front stretch.
Was in the top 5 for a period of time.
Looks like he lost it on his own and then got finished off. Single car spin. We'll take one more look at that there. Oh, I think might have had some help from Connor Morse. Take another look at it here. Gets dove by Hagan, definitely spooked him quite a bit, and then Hagan scoots up, Morse gets into the back end, he gets loose, almost saves it, but then gets finished off with a little bit of net code from the 24. Everybody else kind of scatters behind, but
pretty
overall,
decent avoidance there by most of the field.
Yeah, it must be said. I think the Sasek probably wouldn't have gone all the way around, or at least would have not gone completely backwards if it wasn't for that little bit of net code from Cole Snyder. I think Cole genuinely missed him. I think it was just a situation of wrong place, wrong time.
Collision system.
Yeah, absolutely. So unfortunate for Eli, who had such a great start, a good qualifying. It's not the end of the day for him, though. I'm sure he may have actually... Not sure where he's going here. Did he get the wave by, I wonder? Would be strange.
Wave by. I think he was getting put back in position based on where the caution came out.
Could be.
Because he's not going all the way around. Because that would have been Matthew Boone that got the wave around, I believe. Or the free pass. Yeah, it looks like Sass just came back to his position when the caution was thrown, which would be, I believe, 5th place. Not many people deciding to take pit stops here on lap 10 of 200. Race summary right now, 191 laps to go. No lead changes so far.
No, every lap so far has been led by our pole sitter. He is. Riding on board with him right now.
Now the 91's on board as he looks at the back of that pace car. 1 to go here in Myrtle Beach. He's got to pick the inside lane, as I believe that's Matthew Boone leaving pit lane.
Yeah, as the lucky dog driver, using his free pit stop that he gets as being the lucky dog. I think he might have got half spun, and that's how he ended up there in the first place. It's going to be interesting to see how he can rebound, because he's not too shabby around the short tracks, but... Said lap 40 is the end of stage number 1. We've got 39 more to get there. Green flag going to come back out. It'll once again be our front row from the first go around. All restarts on green at this circuit. We're back underway.
So make sure to cut off Chris Pindell on that restart. As Rodriguez on the outside lane. Representing Liga MX on that 97. Kristina, I know you're catching up on some American sports. You're not going to get that one.
No, I have no idea what you're saying. I was just impressed that you knew. Yeah, I was just impressed that you knew Spanish.
Rodriguez representing, I believe that's one of his. I think that's his home club. Chivas Guadalajara. Right now staying side by side with Chris Pindell as they keep going side by side. Lowering the contact between those two. Going down the back straightaway, staying level and blocking John Hagan and Connor Morris.
Yeah, it's heating up a little bit. We know Morris already. Both of those drivers have not been afraid to get the elbows out. It's kind of what ended up Sasek getting turned. And you can see they go again, yeah. Connor Morris may be the youngest driver in the field, but he is not going to be bullied.
He's going to dish it out.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what he's good at, are these short tracks, and that doesn't come as much of a surprise because, you know, any kind of real-life motorsports that these young kids would get into typically are on tracks that are small like this. It would make sense that they're good at the bull rings. We saw him do so well in New Smyrna. Oh, and there's Pindell into the inside wall.
If there's contact helping Pindell at all, but it's a very tight entry into turn 3.
Yeah, I think he just lost it. I think he just lost it on his own, Carmen. I think they were racing hard. He was on the inside lane. We'll have another look at it here. This is the replay. Side by side with Rodriguez. Yeah, he just loses it on his own, and now we have a caution.
Out. That is further down in the field. I believe Dylan McDonald may be a part of it. Pindell was trying to avoid most of the melee here, being shuffled back up the field. There's McDonald there in turns 1 and 2. Those watching live right now on ABN Esports 1.
Oh,
there's a live predictions. Use your channel points. Use your eddies. Pick your over/under on cautions here tonight. That's the betting odd that we have presented here for tonight's race. So likely be presented also next week's race at Talladega.
So not sure if you see this here, but the 16 and 10 get together, and that sends Thompson down into McDonald, nowhere to go.
That's a hard do-it situation to begin with.
Yeah, and everybody just tries to scatter there. We'll take a look at it from Thompson's POV. You can see Thompson was getting together with Nathan Lehman already. They were kind of leaning on each other, which isn't uncommon. But Lehman, I think, it looks like he either gets loose or Selena just gets a little tight one way or the other. They get together. That sends Thompson down into the 96, who then gets on those rumble strips. And then after that, that's all she wrote. And you'll watch the field here.
That one did a really good job. Sosi did a really good job avoiding just T-boning McDonald there.
As did Estes, who you saw shoot all the way up to the racetrack, to the top side, and not make any contact. So great heads-up driving by everybody involved there. Valentin still leads, though. And I imagine he is not going to be pitting till the end of the stage. No real reason to.
Fuel mileage, looking at the fuel mileage statistic here, everyone would be fine without taking fuel all the way through the end of stage 2. So if people come in for anything, they would be coming in for tires at this point in time.
And so far, 69% of the viewer base saying that we will have less than 17 cautions. 31% saying we'll have more than 17 cautions. I have a little hope in these guys and girls.
Well, we're averaging a caution every 10 laps, so...
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot some mathematics into that hope and optimism.
Listen. I was never good at math. That's why I ditched the computer science major and went for graphic design instead.
The risk I took was calculated, but geez, I'm bad at math.
Yeah. Wait, you said calculus. I thought you said calculator. My bad. I'm in the wrong room. The only kind of proof I can do is the proof on the racetrack, and the proof is Selena Thompson was the meat in the sandwich there, and unfortunately Dylan McDonald got the worst of it. The other proof I can say is the pace car lights are out, and we're doubling up once again, and it's going to be, as it has been all night, Valentin on the inside, Proudfoot on the top.
46 cars still running in this contest. Coming to the green flag for the second restart of the night on lap 23. Mark 1 to Myrtle Beach. Once more. Restart on green flag in the air now. Oh. Away we go.
And
Gaiman, no other.
Yeah, Gaiman got hit and then absolutely drilled Connor Morris. He did a good job, Morris did, of hanging on to it there. See if any of those cars have damage in the back. Another great restart from Valentin, but he opens the door a little bit, and that's going to let the 20s get a sniffer in there. They might be side by side by the turn 1. Going to settle down for now, but Connor Morris still fighting hard, and now side by side for a moment with Rodriguez, and I think Rodriguez does get that position, and now the caution's out again. And that is Pendel for the second time tonight. How did he end up there?
I think Pendel got turned around pretty hard there.
I believe had some help from Ryan Pennell. Or he helped himself, it looks like, perhaps. Might have got loose for the second time there out of turn 2. Pennell keeps it for the most part out of the wall. And we'll have another look at it here and see what happened.
Just waiting here at the inside lane.
Yeah, well, they kind of just came together, it looks like. Not really sure who moved up into who or who moved down into who, but they were all racing for about last anyway, so. Valentin still leads, as he has done from the drop of the green flag. So far, we're 3 for 12 on caution laps. And we have some takers in the pit lane. And some cars are really saying hello to the turtles down there.
I think that was Pendel.
Yeah. Not ideal. Probably goes without saying that that's not what you were wanting to see. Your top 5 is Valentin, Proudfoot, Hagen, Rodriguez, and Morse, though. Good parity. Got one of every manufacturer up in the top right now.
going here in Myrtle Beach.
As expected.
Third caution of the night. Everyone being optimistic about the over-under on the cautions. Just going to sit here and judge silently. For now.
All it takes is one green flag run to absolutely decimate that prediction. But that's just it, isn't it? It's getting that green flag run that's so much of a struggle. Nobody actively on pit road, but we did see some cars coming down. So we're learning these graphics as well with you. So if you see something pop up that looks a little goofy, this is due to some situations with our old enemy SDK. This is our dry run. This is our rehearsal. So welcome. It's just as hectic as you would think.
I just want to sleep.
Pace
It's been a long day. The pace car about to have a long day of its own. If this has been an indication, 3 cautions in the first 29 laps.
Green flag. Go, go,
Pace car is off. We're underway. 11 to go. Stage number 1. And this time Hagen gonna draw even with the 20 of Proudfoot. But Proudfoot should get some acceleration off the corner, especially when Hagen gets loose there on the bottom.
And Morris not afraid to look high.
Yeah, battle is on for P2 right now.
But he's like, yeah, thank you. I'll just kind of fluff away from this one real quick.
That's what he's been doing all day. It's still working for him. You see height there in the mix now as well. Oh, and into the wall goes Eli Sassett, Gaiman, and others. And that is a parking lot.
Yep.
I believe Selena
Car's
Thompson was in the
turned
pit
around.
wall. Yeah, that looks like
I think
Breo,
it was Breo, yeah, the 88.
Merchant. A lot of cars in this one. Well, let's have a look. It's already well underway at this point.
There we go.
Yeah, this might be from the lap before. So we'll
Looks like it here, so.
work our way around.
It starts with Sasek here, I believe, because Sasek and Gaiman are up near the front.
And then it was everybody in reaction behind them. So, yeah, Sasek's already backwards at this point.
Cole Snyder. Oh.
Oh, it looked like well...
It's interesting to see who, because it
Height
looks
runs
like...
up into Rodriguez. That makes Sasek check up. Snyder gets into the back, and there goes, well, just about everybody. And everybody in reaction. Oh, my goodness.
Oh my
Hunter
goodness.
Peach nails the tractor tire on pit road entry. And that's
Donaldson as well in that. Constantinu in it as well.
Watch this one car, Hunter Peach. I mean,
Absolutely
just clobbers
drills
it. Takes Donaldson, Constantinu as well.
They did a good job of drifting her way around it.
I think she'll just dink it.
Saw Merchant there on the inside, outside the pit wall. But...
So this starts with the 9 of Sasek, who's right here. Gets bumped by Snyder. Snyder slides up, gets into Gaiman a little bit, but this has already got Sasek out of shape. He comes back across the track. Just kind of overcorrected. We already saw this a couple times already today. Swatsworth and Zier nowhere really to go. I think Peach sees a gap, and he's going to try to shoot for it there, and then he gets clipped by Donaldson, and that's what sends him into the tractor tire, along with everybody else. You see Breo nearly makes it through, but I think as cars are still, you see that's at the 33, and then Donaldson, who's still, or that's not Donaldson, that's Henderson, who's just trying to get through it. They're all kind of running each other over there. And that's how the rest of them got turned around onto this massive mess on the back straightaway. Unfortunate break for Hunter Peach. But
that's race effectively done for Peach.
Yeah, and now we get a short stint to the finish of stage number 1. As the pace car will pull off, and we'll have 4 to go in the stage. Rudy Valentine has led every lap so far tonight. He's only got to do 4 more to win yet another stage in his career.
It's pulled in. It's Valentine, Proudfoot, Hagen, and Morris. Green flag in the air, and away we go.
Oh, and they're wrecking. There goes Hagen and Morris. And that's everybody. That'll end the stage. And who gets through is Katie Height. Katie Height sneaks through. It looks like Parker snuck through.
Parker did sneak through, yeah.
Wow. So...
And Proudfoot got the race lead out of that.
Yeah, right at the very end. So Proudfoot will end up stealing the stage. Then it's Valentine Height, Parker Snyder. Or excuse me, Parker's Meredith Snyder. Then Lehman, Sharp, Breo, and Sosi, I think, as we wait for timing and scoring to continue to update here.
And this is going to be wild because there's cars that are still trying to get corrected from wrecking and from being involved in that restart crash.
Yeah, this is gonna be this is gonna be one of those few moments where you really wish you did have a red flag here to really just kind of figure out what the heck went wrong. Let's take a look. This is the restart. Hagen and Morris were the first cars to go around, but I don't know if it was related to each other. Hagen's already loose. Hagen loses it on acceleration.
That's wheel spin. 100% wheel spin for Hagen there.
Yeah, and comes up and collects Connor Morris, who then loses it to the outside. There you see where Height splits the middle. And her...
Got lucky there, because that door shuts quickly.
Yeah, her and the 38 are the only two that get through. Everybody else...
Gets something.
Cole Snyder gets through pretty nicely. I think Sosi sneaks through there on the left-hand side of your screen.
He leaned on Appleson to get that happening.
And Apperson just stops. See Josh Arnold give a little bump there. That's not a bad situation to just stop in that situation. You see all kinds of cars in reverse. I mean, it is, like you said, Carmen, it is just bedlam trying to get out of that situation. Here you can see it again. Take a look at it from another angle. It's going to be John Hagen who loses it. We'll look at this in real speed. Second car inside lane. And there goes everybody.
Your picks out of this one? He's got some significant damage on the front of that car.
Yeah, it looks like he's still rolling, but not ideal by any means.
But there's some modifieds out here.
Wouldn't be the first or last time we see that on the circuit. That will end the stage, though, and I think some drivers pit, some stayed out. I think Height stayed out, so I think she will now inherit the lead.
Height, Meredith, Parkhurst, Lehman, and Breo, the top 5. Sosi in 6th. Boone, McDonald, Moutre, and Estes, top 10. For those keeping an eye on the cautions tonight, again, our over-under that we had through ABN Analytics was 17.5.
Looks like we're currently on track for 21, 22.
40. I believe we're on track for 25. Because we're a fifth of the way through the race. Yeah, that's closer to 45. Or 25, I should say.
Well, pace car is off, and we'll see if it gets any better. Height and reigning champion Zachary Meredith on the front row. And we're underway again to start stage number 2.
This is a longer stage. Stage 2 goes all the way to the halfway point, lap 100. A closer battle in this battle for the front of the field, but Meredith can't get clear. Parkhurst.
Yeah, Meredith scraped the wall out of the exit of 2, and that lets Parkhurst get through. Now Lehman going to challenge. The 88 of Breo as well.
Mark Parker's his first race back since I believe since January. And he's doing a fantastic job. Breo doing a good job as well. Some coordination there for the Carolina Beagle Racing crew. As again, you see some of the cars further on back here. Again, a longer stage, about almost 60 laps here, this second stage. Hopefully we'll readjust some positions here. Let's run aboard the 88 of Breo.
Yeah, you see him get all out of shape there, too.
Right through the quarter panel there of the 17 of Meredith. Fast and Furious already showing some signs of war. Meredith. Driver intro here. There we go. Meredith on the outside will lose a spot as Breo moves to third. Meredith down to fourth place ahead of Matthew Boone. So both the previous champions in the field sitting in the top 5 at the moment as things stand.
Along with
stay ahead of Sosi.
Along with the driver who could very easily be champion. Both of them, Parkhurst and Breo, have championship tendencies and could potentially do it if they had full seasons. And of course, Katie Height, who is a favorite to win a championship every year, has yet to find it in HTL though.
Leading the way. Carolina Beagle second and third. Parkhurst and Breo. Josh Sosi is getting around Matthew Boone now, the 81 car. Finished third at New Smyrna, the last short oval race HTL ran. Back in the preseason though.
Caution.
And caution's out. 6th time tonight. And this one I think is Poznansky and Swatsworth. And there's Henderson, and there's 31
Overstat.
of Overstat, yeah. So it looks like several cars involved in this one.
It's already happened by this point. Let's have a look.
Coming out of turn 2, just ahead.
Oh, they're already getting sideways in front of the 25 of Henderson. And oh my goodness, is that Peltier Sharp comes in there really hot. Is it Swatsworth?
Checking up.
Yeah, I think Swatsworth was one of the first cars backwards there.
Yeah, it looks like Swatsworth. I'm not sure who else was there with Swatsworth. It looked like Swatsworth and
Oh, was it Zier maybe?
possibly. And we're trying to find the exact point of caution again. We're learning the new systems here, so it's not quite as easy to find as it was before.
Oh yeah, Swatsworth kind of shoves Zier up, and I guess they just ran out of room. And oh my goodness!
Oh my goodness! That's
Overstat. Yeah. So the wreck behind that was just everybody kind of checking up. No real harm, no foul. I think Overstat's going to get the worst of that because he absolutely clobbered the already spinning 18 machine. So here it is again. And as Swatsworth goes for a slide, to be fair, it wasn't just flat-footed, but Swatsworth was coming back up the track, and it was almost it was a bad situation because Rodriguez moved. I don't know that Overstat really could have ever seen the 18.
And there wasn't a lot of smoke out of it either.
Not an ideal situation by any stretch of the imagination. So we are now a quarter of a way through this event.
Not coming out in time. That is the 97 of Rodriguez.
Who tried to pass the pace car anyway. I know the feeling.
Realized he wasn't even close, so he will go down the back road here.
He pulls it off into the the backstretch pit lane. 14, about to be 15 laps led now for Katie Height. I think only about 2 of those have been green. For anybody who may have been wondering where on earth Rudy Valentine's gone after his pit stop, he's led the most laps so far tonight, still at 35, but he runs in the 11th position, so he's kind of in the danger zone right now. Gotta be careful not to get caught up in the shenanigans around him. And your stage winner who stole it right at the very end, Brandon Proudfoot, is even further down in 22nd place. So
quick avoiding action as we go back to green here. Alright, with a little bit of tailgating there from the 88 of Breo.
Yeah, a couple teammates behind her.
Side. Parkhurst tags the wall. Breo goes through for second. Parker's trying to hold on to the top 3. There's Sosi in the 81. Down the front straightaway.
We'll get third, clears.
Sosi on the charge.
And how about Matthew Boone still hiding around in 5th place, not doing too shabby.
Taking Meredith here. Trying to. Meredith fighting around the outside lane.
Remember, Boone was a lap down at the end of lap number 2, all the way back up to P5 right now, as I think they might have just smacked the wall behind. They keep it going in the right direction. Yeah.
Trying to get clear of Meredith here. Former champions go at it. Boone gets the advantage. Lehman goes wide. Trying to get around his teammate. Running on board with Boone. In fourth gear here through 1 and 2. The helmet cam for Matthew Boone. Looking right now, Parker's in front of him.
Braille is taking the lead, by the way.
Yeah.
Height.
I mentioned that.
You can see they're working on Scott Sprinkle to try and put him a lap down. Another lap down, I should say. He's 31st position at the moment. So while they try to work on the 05 machine, who's had a day to forget, they will negotiate. Sprinkle doing a good job to stay out of the way and at least hold a lane. Let the leaders work their way around you. But Breo to the lead for the first time tonight. Started all the way at the back, and now the yellow comes out yet again.
Not sure where this is located at.
Not sure either.
I would say probably see if you can look at Alfred Denny. It seems like that might be where some of it may have originated from. I don't know if Denny was involved in it, but it seems like it was around him. A lot of movement position-wise around that 20th spot. If that was the case or not.
Well, that's where they all slow down, so don't reckon that'd be the stage break.
Nope. Stage 2 ends on lap 100.
Yeah, not so sure about that one. You'll notice a couple drivers.
Looks like Dylan McDonald.
A couple drivers dove into the pit lane right away there, by the way.
Katie had one of them.
Here's McDonald coming into the pit.
McDonald retired here.
Oh, it looks like perhaps a wheel failure or something.
Yeah, this one that goes wrong with the 96. I don't know if the caution comes out for this, because it don't look like... Oh,
yeah.
That's a hard hit.
Lost the back end, and then the wheels broken off into turn 1 here. I suppose the caution out of hesitation? Well, I guess it's iRacing cautions,
it's
no?
iRacing cautions, yeah. So, I don't know.
Must have been right here when he comes to a stop to try to clear. That would force the caution.
Get out of the way, yeah.
Unfortunate.
He was trying to do the right thing there.
Yeah, no, you can't fault him, but unfortunate that it just kind of shows the inconsistency of the iRacing cautions. Could have cars doing barrel rolls down the back stretch and it says track clear tower, and then somebody slows down to get out of the way and yellow flag. I think the fact that the hit didn't bring out the caution, it was him trying to move to the pit lane, kind of shows the issue with that, but significant whack. He did a nice job to keep it out of harm's way for everybody else, at least. Good sportsmanship on McDonald's part, which is not something we would have said about that driver about a year ago. So, unfortunate for him, but yeah.
So, Breo leads over Josh Sosi. Then it's Parkhurst in Meredith, top 4. Once I'm happy that my pick is not the first one out. One of my picks to win.
I think so far I'm the only one who's gotten a pick correct this year.
Yes, you
so,
are.
and that includes, that includes the computer. So,
pace car is in as the lights come on and the sun begins to set beyond the trees here in Myrtle Beach. Standing capacity crowd as the green flag comes back out. Lap 65 here in South Carolina. Breo gets clear Sosi. By side Parkhurst and Meredith behind. By side several cars deep. Parker's battling for third. Will get third away from Meredith. Meredith cannot get the door closed on Rudy Valentine, the pole sitter, trying to make his way back forward. Tagging the wall by Josh Gaiman. Caution's out again. So on back in the field, you see where the parking lot is. Donaldson and Poznanski, the two that are left moving last, as we go back and see if we can figure out what happened. It looks like Poznanski was spun around. Poznanski sprinkle, and it looks like Donaldson had nothing to do with that. Donaldson was just waiting to make sure that he stayed out of it. Smart call on him. And Poznanski just gets wide on his own. And then obviously 3 and 4 wide behind as everyone checks up. Nowhere for anyone to go to try to avoid him. He's already. I don't know if he's sideways because someone made contact with him, or if he just gets in hot. Because it would have been the 90 of Santiago.
Well, that's
or 42 of Santiago.
Yeah, that's the 50 of Zier on the outside lane there. See, as they roll down the backstretch, we'll have a look.
I don't think Zier.
Well, you can see where the 12 locked up actually and moved up.
Oh yeah.
So the left front locks on Poznanski. Zier goes for a slide, putting that new direct drive wheel to work. Yeah, nice save for her, and I think that killed Scott's momentum, but also he's got the rear tires lit up really bad anyways. And he just finishes himself off, bounces off of Selena Thompson. Second time Selena's been a victim of circumstance. You see Height right there, who just pit, sneak her way through her second wreck tonight. As does Boone, does a nice job to sneak through there. Hagen gets into it, and Sprinkle gets turned as they run out of lanes to filter into. No real damage done, more than was already done to the 05 car. Well, if you like puzzles, it's been a night of piecing together a series of incidents, but if you like motor racing, maybe you didn't come to the right place tonight. It has been a bit of a parade behind the Mustang safety car. As we near
laps. Anyone doing the mathematics here? 72 laps for right now. 36 have been under caution. 8th of the night tonight. Over under 17.5. How many people put on the under on that one?
It was 69% at one point.
Nice.
A lot of Eddies changing hands tonight. And it would appear that it's Breo and Sosi again here, but I don't think we're at a point where we would start getting nervous about this, but it does look like, I'm looking at my timing and scoring, do we have 41 minutes left in this race on time?
No. So that's a little bit incorrect. That's part of the inaccuracies there with the
Lovely. Well, forget I said anything, but we're 73 laps out of 200 and the pace car is off. Breo and Sosi will lead us down. Watch Valentine second in the outside lane. Fastest car so far tonight has made his way back up through the field.
Teammates work together on that restart. Did a phenomenal job on that restart. Left Sosi hanging out high and dry. Let's defend from Zach Meredith. And Sosi drives it in deep for third place.
As does Gaiman. And a lot of them smacked the wall out of 4. They all followed each other up there.
Target fixation to the max here.
Now under yellow again.
Austin comes out for the 9th time.
Who's that back there?
Looks like Denny.
Was that the 99? It might have been Estes.
Might be, yeah, it might be Estes. I know Denny lost a spot. They're trying to check up for it, but it might be the 99 of Estes.
I saw a green car. Yeah, it was Estes. And Sprinkle again. Sprinkle cannot catch a break. So 3 wide here. That's Thompson and Estes, teammates. And that's the 21 of Denny on the outsides. They're coming to the T1 3 wide. And just all run out of room. once again right in front of Katie Height and Matthew Boone. They both miss another one. A huge hit for Ruby Estes.
Wow.
Again,
That's
no
a
safer
violent
barrier.
impact and
Yeah.
Sprinkle.
Poor Sprinkle. Either DNQing or getting just caught up in stuff that I mean, it's almost like a comedy how unfortunate Sprinkle's been this year. Ruby Estes wrong.
It's not a great thing though for Sprinkle to not hold the brakes.
Yeah, that's going to collect one of the few people you...
That's going to collect
yeah,
Henderson.
that's two people you really don't want to be collecting from an incident like that with Henderson and Donaldson having to smack on the brakes, but... Estes apparently got the car rolling, but I think that's still a DNF, unfortunately for her.
Dispatch prayers in place here, so...
Yeah.
Similar to Hunter Peach's incident there.
Yeah.
Just how much damage there was to that car. Just the entire front end got torn off there.
And you know, we talk about how, you know, safer barrier versus no safer barrier and how that helps for safety in the real world side of things. It does have an effect in the game because those concrete walls are a lot harder. They will do a lot more damage than a standard safer barrier will. They both do a lot of damage, don't get me wrong, but the calculations that are made, you're gonna tear up stuff a lot more on concrete than you will on the safer barriers in this game. So that's helping nobody, unfortunately.
I should tell the drivers that the walls have already been knocked down at this track.
Yeah. Anybody who plays the old Battlefield games, looking like we might get some Levolution before the night's over. I say we start running them down that little backstretch right there, make it a little road course. That'd be kind of cute.
Get a jumper lap.
Yeah, why not?
A zig when you got a zig when you, instead of zag.
Well, hell, a couple people ran it already tonight, so why not? You see Estes trundling in the pit lane, so she's
Yeah, trying to keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
The kind of night we're having, we're running most of the laps behind the pace car anyway, it wouldn't hurt. She's 3 laps down, 29th position, still points to pay for there. Why not?
And the restart here, it's Carolina Beagle Racing. First short oval race of the point season. And the short oval team, currently 1-2 right now. It's Breo, Parker, Sosi, and Valentine. Top 4. As the pace car pulls into pit lane.
Yeah, these CBR cars have been doing quite good tonight. They've been up front all day. Haven't lost it since they've got up here. Back underway.
Wheel spin there for Parker, Stowe, and Sosi. Breo and Parker's Valentine dying on the outside lane as Sosi tries to go for second place. It'll be 3 wide out of 4. Valentine had to back out of it.
Parker's hit the wall out of turn number 4, checked everybody up, but Sosi's going to try and send it in deep into 1 and 2. He's going to clear for second, try and go after the lead. See what happens.
Even to the top 5 as well.
Opens the door for Valentine to 3rd.
Yeah.
Connor Morris on a recovery drive.
Breo tries shutting the door. Sosi's going to move Breo around out of 2.
Do not mess with the mailman. They're door to door down the back straightaway. While this all happens, this is exactly what Rudy Valentine wants to see. Don't count out Josh Gaiman and Connor Morris as they're making their way back up into the top 5.
More contact at the front of the field. Breo trying to get back to the bumper of the 81. Contact between the 88 and the 91.
That's just good old short track racing right there, Carmen. That's about as clean as it gets.
Me and you know a thing or two about short track racing. I think we've done that thing a thing or two.
Yeah, but we usually do it on 2.5 milers, so it has a lot different endings.
I believe we've done some mods of shenanigans in South Boston.
I don't want to talk about it.
On his second place.
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah,
Breo holding his own, though.
Yeah, did a fantastic job defending from Valentine, but it's allowed Josh Sosi to try to pull away here. See what Sosi can do. Valentine looks to the outside now. They try to under Breo here. Breo, the former RCA Sport Cup Series champion. Pretty wise to that. These two have not raced together before up until the HTL Cup Series season. Valentine racing mostly in the ABN side of things. See Breo coming from the ARC side of competition. See in the middle here, and going at it here in Myrtle Beach. As we come to lap 88, 13 laps to go in stage 2. Breo defends the inside lane from Valentine, tries to close in on Sosi.
Not going to be afraid to use the bumper. Gives a little shot there.
Well, Breo got a shot to begin with to get moved out of the way for the race lead. So Breo remembers that.
Race car drivers never forget.
Breo's a very firm believer. Race how you get raced.
It's caused him a lot of problems in his career. Big shot there.
There he goes again as Valentine looks to the outside lane. Valentine almost had his life left before his eyes there as Sosi easily could have been spun around there. Still a little bit of contact. Breo trying to rattle Sosi's cage.
Sosi playing nice and cool here, though. Has not faltered. Another little shot.
Outside.
Yeah. 11 to go.
Pressure on.
10 to go now.
Yeah, 10 to go right now. The game is sitting back as Breo finally relents, and there goes Valentine quickly looking to the inside. Top 5 on your screen. Morris having to defend from Proudfoot.
Yeah, I'm surprised that even though losing the spot here, it looks like to Proudfoot, that Morris, with all that damage, crept back into the top 5. Still looks pretty strong in that number 3 car. You wrote him off after the big one there on the restart, but it looks like there's still a little bit of pace yet in that Lady Liberty machine.
I think there's a little bit of pace in that car, but I don't know if it's race winning pace.
But still a long way to go.
Yeah, very much. I think, unfortunately, we've had a race breakout in our parade here.
Thank goodness for that.
Valentine trying to pressure Sosi. Sosi's been very resilient under that pressure so far. I don't think Valentine's quite as a physical driver as Breo is, so I have a feeling that Sosi may have a little bit easier time if he can just hold on to that inside lane
As
and
you
keep
say
it
that.
from Valentine. Valentine put the bumper to him, but Sosi backed up the corner.
Well, here's the thing, is that Valentine's not quite as aggressive, no, but he is very sneaky. He's tactful. He's going to outthink you 9 times out of 10. He's very smart. He may not shove you out of the way, but he'll sure as heck make you push yourself out of the way with the way that he makes you overthink a lot of things. Had the pleasure to race against him, and I've only beat him 1 time. And even then, it was a bit lucky on the strategy, and it took a lot of defending. Talking about my first career Hyper Formula win. Had to drive my little butt off to keep that 91 in my mirror. So, great little driver Rudy is.
Holding off Josh Gaiman at the moment.
There's a shot.
Yeah, Breo tried to send it there. Valentine tried to send it on Sosi. Sosi was able to get a really good exit there. Valentine looks to the inside. Sosi doesn't keep him completely pinched off there.
Just enough room.
Way a better exit. Way better exit. Really good camera here from right above the grandstands.
Oh, did you see?
On the front straightaway.
Did you see Valentine's rear brake calipers lighting up off into turn 3 there too?
And Breo was about to use them up.
Still glowing. Watch it here. Watch that rear tire, that ascent machine headed off into the corner here. Right there. Look how hot those rear brakes are getting on that 91. He is working that Toyota Camry for all it's worth as they come to 2 to go in the stage. And Breo tried to give a shot to Valentine, and he nearly loses the back end.
He did give him a shot, but Breo ended up losing up for it. Try to get that car a little 2.8 on the nose. And Valentine, not a playoff contending driver, only racing a partial schedule, very limited schedule. This is his second race of the season. White flag, no, 2 laps to go, excuse me, in the stage.
It is white flag this time by in the stage, so.
Oh, it is right.
Takes it a second.
Yeah. So it is white flag in the stage.
Battle for 10th between Height and Meredith for the final point in the stage as well.
Looks like Meredith might get it. Caution's going to come out here at the end of the stage. Sosi's going to win the stage. And Meredith's going to lose the 10th place point to Caitlin Height.
Yeah, he smacked the wall. It's Sosi, Valentine, Breo, Gaiman, Proudfoot, Pelletier Sharp, Connor Morris, Parker, Sasek, and Height, the top 10. And a nice little battle amongst the leaders to end the second stage. And you almost wish there wasn't a stage break because I was rather enjoying that one, Carmen.
We got a race there going a little bit. Drivers finding their groove a little bit. It seems like the cooler the track got once we got into beyond the sunset phase and into the night. It seems like the cooler track's helping out drivers a little bit here as far as just finding that grip and finding that rear grip especially.
Oh, and your race leader, Sosi, slides the box. You saw it there, a little late onto pit
very
entry.
Early box.
Yeah.
One of the first pit boxes. That's one of the risks there with having that early pit box. If you miss your pit box early, if you're not ready for it, you have to be on your nose early. So he may lose out here, and he's now in traffic on the exit.
Yeah, and you can see absolutely everybody into the pit lane here at the end of the stage. Only a handful of drivers going to try to stay out for that track position. And Valentine's the first one out. Quick stop for the number 91. And there you see Breo, Sosi. I think Gaiman might have got Sosi. Two Lady Liberty teammates side by side. I think that Peltier Sharp just beat Connor Morris out by a skosh.
Yep.
You can see the rest of the field here. Trying this pit road graphic. Not quite sure what kind of info it can give us, but it is pretty neat.
It'll probably be more helpful at Talladega next week.
Oh, yeah.
It's giving us a lot of information here.
Well, I suppose you can see the pit stop times here as everybody completes their stops. So I guess that's food for thought there as they all kind of sort themselves out. Of course, Josh Arnold in the pit lane getting repairs. That's why he has a 700-second pit stop actively. But yeah, Lilac Zier stays out with Scott Poznansky, and they should inherit the race lead now. On board with
it just came down pit
Poznansky.
Lane, so it gives
Poznansky
lead.
Yeah, she must have stayed out to lead a lap then, a little bit of
correct
strategy. Looking back from current race leader now, Poznansky, who I believe is the only car to stay out.
Yep. He last pit on, let's see, we're on lap 105. He last pit on lap 71. See the race summary. 10 cautions so far in this race for 45 laps, including this stage break. 7 lead changes so far in this race.
Well, we can finally call a race after what had been a lot of cautions. We got a very nice little battle to the end of stage number 2, and hopefully we'll see more of that to the end of stage 3 here to end this race. They should be able to make it on fuel pretty easily. Minus Poznansky, who may be a bit short.
Poznansky would definitely be short right now. If this were to go green all the way, it would be short. But again, it's contingent on us not having more cautions. Pace car is in. Stage 3 about to begin. Poznansky and Valentine leading us to green. 94 laps to go.
94 to go, but it's the 91 with some big momentum on the outside lane. Poznansky held his own through 1 and 2, but those tires just not going to last.
He's about to get run over here.
Yeah. But Valentine critically got clear before, and there goes
Whoa,
Gaiman.
And there goes Gaiman, and Gaiman's going to try to lock it down, and caution's out.
And he gets hit by the 33, but just about everybody else clumsily sneaks by. I think only one other car really went around, and I think it was Apperson who hit the wall quite hard in the 4. But you kind of saw that one coming from a mile away, didn't you?
Unfortunately, when you had Poznansky starting on old tires, I was expecting it to be Poznansky being turned by Breo, because Breo was on that bumper hard. But it happened really almost behind it. Apperson got tagged. It looks like
that was Donaldson.
He got tagged by, it looks like Donaldson. No,
that's
Boone.
Boone. Yeah,
that's 28.
Good save. You see Height all out of shape as well in the 11.
Yeah, she got leaned on a lot through 1 and 2, trying to get through that.
Try and see if we can't look at Gaiman. Yeah, here's everybody leaning on each other out of turn 4.
Yeah, Breo sent Poznansky to the exit of turn 3 and 4, tried to get a run on him, and it worked out. But
Gaiman tried to sniff on the outside there.
And just, he bounces
I don't know
off
if he,
that wall, it looks like.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, he definitely get the wall.
And he gets finished off by his teammate, but it almost looks like he didn't know that lane ended. like almost like he didn't expect for the wall to be there. And you can see it was Meredith that got into the back of Height, and it was Proudfoot trying to leave room for Gaiman, who is now coming back up the racetrack. That's why they were all leaning on each other up
really
there.
Good avoidance. I think it's Constantinu with a really good avoidance there.
And it was Peltier Sharp that sent the 33 into the 61. I think they were all going to make it, but the 33 got tagged from behind. And that's why the 61 got tagged again. So the horrendous fall for Josh Gaiman apparently will continue tonight.
Or not his. I feel like it is partially his own doing there. I mean, we talk about his worst enemy is himself. That kind of is a self-inflicted wound because he tried to make a lane on the outside work when that lane was just always going to be closing because he was the last one into a three-way situation.
Yeah, I mean,
so, that's rough.
And it seemed a bit like a weird mistake to make. I don't know if he got loose or if it was just the lack of... Again, this is a track not a lot of people run on, so the wall just kind of came up on him faster than I think he thought. But we had saw that earlier today, too, on one of the restarts. Just about every single car smacked the wall out of turn 4 on that outside lane. So I'm not sure if it's a grip problem or a driver problem, but one way or another, they keep finding that wall out of T4. You can see it funnels up a little bit back where those red stripes are in the restart zone, but I think by now you would have known. Oh, interesting. I'm not in the car.
Green.
Yeah. Fun fact, actually, Carmen did get an offer if I wanted to run this race. I politely declined.
I had the ability to as well.
Pace car off, and it's Borreo and Valentine once again.
I think Wisniewski did come in a bit lane there, so should be a pretty straightforward restart.
But in a race like this, what does that entail? Green flag back out. We'll try it again.
I mean, we've both been at this for a decade. We still don't know the answer to that one.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Borreo got tagged by Morris.
They both hang on to it.
Really good save, but Borreo got moved out of the way there a little bit. Morris had to back out of it, too.
He's not going to be happy either.
No. They both left.
Yeah, they're still leaning on each other. And then Morris gets into the back of Height a little. Now they're leaning on Height. Now Morris gets turned. Hangs on to it. Maybe.
Ooh,
No.
That's gonna be painful.
Oh.
And that's going to be a hard impact.
And that's
there we go.
The big one. Meredith is killed. That's Swatsworth for sure. Sprinkle again. I mean, that was avoidable. They were leaning on each other so hard, Carmen, for still over 100 laps to go. I don't know. Well, not over 100, but close to 100 to go. It feels so early to be doing that.
That was Borreo trying to get even for being moved by Morris.
Well, I don't know about that because Morris got into Height there and checked up, so I'm sure Borreo wasn't cutting any breaks to him, but I'm not so sure that was as clear as it was.
That was a carbon copy of what he did the lap before. Just the Height was in the way that time.
Yep. And then right up in front of Meredith, nowhere to go.
There's Lehman.
Bia gets lucky there, misses another one. And that's everybody.
Chad almost gets through.
They are just... It's hard to say who's involved because everybody just piles in at this point. It's a trend we start to see on these kinds of races, Carmen, where it's a caution fest for a little bit. You get that race to the end of the second stage. It's usually pretty decent. 50-50 on how it goes, but once you get within the last 60 or last 40% of the race, people start racing so hard. And for what?
Patience goes out the window here in these races. We've seen it several times now, especially in this series. You think about Charlotte, you think about Gateway, you think about Pocono.
And you expect that, but you expect that with 20 to go or 10 to go, not with 85 to go.
I'll throw this around because, again, both of us are drivers. we've done 120, essentially it's 120 laps. 55 of those has been under caution. Caution laps here are 43 seconds. You've spent almost an hour under caution. You get impatient. Like, your patience and your tolerance level to even the smallest things completely just whittles away when you're sitting that long. It becomes so much more of a mental aspect game, especially if you're someone that has already struggled to stay up. Like this was near the front of the field, right? It was already a struggle just to hold on to Rudy Valentine. To get moved out of the way and completely lose touch of that battle, that's going to be even more infuriating as we get ready to go back green here. Everything just adds on. It's a snowball effect mentally. And we have entered that period where it's starting to cascade into an avalanche.
Well, we'll see if they can handle the storm, I guess. 80 laps to go.
See the clean start there. Alpha gets clear for second. So these two are going to try to duke it out again still.
See Proudfoot trying to run a bit different lane, and it's not going to matter because the caution's out again. And this time it's going to be Mark Parkhurst. Let's see what happened to him. That's not Mark Parkhurst.
It's Brandon Proudfoot.
Oh, lost it on the top there, fighting with Gaiman. Overcorrected, and all she wrote. Single car spin. Not sure if he's going to get hit here. I don't think he does. Connor Morris gets into the back of the 31. Oh, wow. You can see Sprinkle was hard on the binders there. The brakes basically on fire, but nowhere to go. And clobbers the 38 machine. I think that's about as unfortunate as it gets, Carmen. Poor Sprinkle. I mean, you got to feel for the kid. It's been a miserable season. It's been a miserable day. Blindsided, no visibility, and just...
Very painful hit there, and I think that is kind of done.
Yeah, you can see the car's destroyed. That's, wow. You cannot fault the determination he's had to try to keep that car on the track, but my goodness, it has just been a procession for that poor stepping stone entry. And it's worth noting, I think only about one of those incidents really were his fault. Most of these are just him getting clobbered from the door, getting hit from behind, or I think that's probably the only other one so far that maybe had a little bit of his influence. But then you see it from the onboard and realize how much you really just didn't even see it coming. It looks like a gameplay of Fall Guys, where it's just you just got to pick a lane and hope that that's not the one that you're gonna get clobbered, and it's like picking mystery doors. If I'm Sprinkle, I'd go buy a lottery ticket. Can't get much worse.
Inversely, none of the luck's been used in this race.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go ahead and get a lottery ticket. You might just win.
Rudy Valentine leads the way with Brandon Proudfoot, Josh Sosa, Jeremy Breo, Caitlin Height, and Eli Sassick top 6. Bianca Constantino up to 7th place. Zach Apperson, that 4 car spin through the ringer, and it's an 8th. Stina Thompson in 9th, Nathan Eastep in 10th position. Connor Morris is out of this race.
Yeah, I think that last hit finally did him in.
For our 13th restart tonight.
Still 71 to go at the, or 72 to go at the line, so. Yippee. Tell you what though, Valentine and Proudfoot been strong all day, as have Sosi and Breo, so the battle at the front will be a fun one to watch. And they're wrecking in the back already. And the yellow's out again.
Looks like it came off the nose of LTA Sharp.
This is gonna give us an angle. Yeah, 33 car. Moved up the hill by the 8. Poor Jared Merchant got mugged on the restart and tried to defend his lane and, well, picture tells the story.
Go nowhere for him to go. I think Nathan Lehman there part of that as well. Chad Swatsworth got a piece of it again.
Yeah.
I believe your favorite driver has a line for this.
Oh.
What are we doing, racing or ping pong?
Yeah, I was about to say which one. I thought you were going to pull out a Tony Stewart quote or... yeah, the Seb Vettel, yeah.
Next week.
Yeah. I really thought you were about to tell me we should have tore up one more race car today. Yeah, I don't know. I say this one definitely goes into the ping pong category. We kind of knew it would. But still, it hurts to see your last little bits of hope crumble away. Yeah. Oh, it's painful.
Oh.
Thanks for joining and sticking it out with us at least. Hopefully there's some entertainment out there under the yellow. We certainly have a lot to cover. It's been a fun crash compilation, but if you came for a race, I think that part might be over. We had a nice little battle at the end of stage number 2, but have not really had a whole lot of green flag racing since then, have we?
69 laps to
cautions.
go. Nice. 68 laps to go now, of course.
And 66 have been run under yellow, if that kind of gives you any idea. We could have been in victory lane popping champagne by now if these boys and girls just kept it pointed in the right direction, but HTL is allergic to that sometimes, particularly on these kinds of tracks.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but just a reminder, we have unlimited green-white checkers.
Yes, we do. And we talk about how Pocono is probably about the first time we both gave up on an event. Might have another candidate.
Was shocking. I think Pocono was shocking because we were expecting such a good race at Pocono because of how last season went.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we were surprised by this.
No.
Doesn't make it any less deflating, but
yeah, it's kind of like, you know, like when you take a test you didn't study for and you know you're gonna do bad, but then you get the F and you're like, oh man, really? I thought we'd get a D-.
Cool. Green flag is back out in the air here. Rudy Valentine and Proudfoot got away, and Proudfoot got a jump on that one.
Yes, he did. Just like he did at the end of stage number 1. That's what won him stage 1. Valentine did not get the win, despite leading all but 2 laps in that stage, and he will now, once again, caught napping by Brandon Proudfoot, who will take the lead for the second time today. He's leading now only his 4th lap in the race. That sets up Valentine with the mission.
Very interesting situation to figure out here.
Boy, what a story it'd be if Proudfoot could go back-to-back, too, on completely different racetracks.
Yeah. Valentine just wanting to play a little bit of spoiler. Again, part-time driver for Valentine. Proudfoot provisionally in the playoffs. Having to hop around in uncharted cars like what he's in tonight.
iRating isn't everything, but you see 25.75 there for Proudfoot. Old Rudy Valentine's got almost double that.
Yeah.
And that's not an insult to Proudfoot or an insult to Rudy Valentine's social life. It's just interesting to see how those stats play around. You can see sometimes drivers run. Obviously, Proudfoot runs on dirt road more often than not. Valentine runs a little bit of everything, so very, very talented drivers on the field here, at least at the top end. Love these camera angles on this track too, in particular.
Yeah, we get to use them a lot, that's for sure. Here's the bumper cam. Right over right in front of the radiator here. And yeah, there you go. Get you some. Team. There's Proudfoot.
There it is again.
Proudfoot. There you go. Valentine just giving a little bump, like just rattling just a little bit.
And people ask me a lot why we put the cameras inside the radiator pan. Why do we put the camera so far back in the bumper you can see it? Because those kind of moments right there where it just physically illustrates how hard these guys are slamming each other.
Leading the way, Breo's back up to third.
Make that second. He tries to go for it on the inside.
Yeah, he's on a mission right now. Breo, Proudfoot, and Valentine all on the same tire, so no advantage right now between the top, really between the top 10 right now, all on the same tire at the moment. All of them on 40 lap old tires at the moment. You have to look down to Gaiman on 33 lap old tires to find a discrepancy in the pitch badges at the moment. Where everyone should be good on fuel. It's just a tire game at this point. On Valentine and Proudfoot. Sosi in fourth. Constantinu up to fifth. Bad run for Constantinu right now as things run. And Caitlin Height and then Eli Sasek, 7th place. Sue Thompson in 8th. Another top 10 finish right now on hand. So that 10 car cautions out for the 15th time.
Oh, don't tell me it was for the lapper getting out of the way. Was that for Sprinkle? I think it was.
I don't know if it was or not.
I think Sprinkle had moved over and parked to get out of the way of the leaders, which just was that was the right. Would be it. Oh.
Yep, that would be it.
Come on.
Because you can't park there. You genuinely just cannot park there.
No, you can't. And it was doing the right thing. Yeah, it was doing lost it.
Oh,
now,
no.
that didn't even bring out the yellow. That's what's so frustrating about it. If the caution was going to come out, it should have come out. It doesn't come out until doing the right thing and staying out of the way. That's frustrating. And that's not Sprinkle's fault. There's no shade to Sprinkle. Did everything right, stayed out of the way, didn't make that bigger than it needed to be. The frustration is just that we didn't need a yellow for that, I don't think. Because Sprinkle was hightailing it to the apron anyway. Very unfortunate. It's going to reshuffle everything again.
Lydia's lucky dog to Ryan Moutre as Valentine comes down pit lane for some tires, as does Sosi. Proudfoot, Breo, Constantinu, Sasek, Thompson stay out.
I believe Height and Overstat pit as well.
Correct. Yep.
So more stay out. More drivers stayed out than pit. So I just don't think anybody wants to put themselves back there.
Yeah, we're entering that stage of the race where positioning is going to matter a whole lot now.
Well, it's not even that. It's just you don't want to be back there because that's where all the wrecks are. You're going to get wiped out. It's a risky gamble, but we'll see what happens here. I'm a bit surprised to have seen Valentine make the pit stop here. We'll see what he can do. This is going to be about the deepest he's been in the field today. He'll be all the way down in 16th position.
That's not even wondering right now. This is the 69th caution lap.
Yippee.
It's also funny because this is the 69th race in HTL history.
Well, there you go. We have 52 to go. I think a lot of eddies are going to be changing hands in about 2 cautions time.
At least 14,000.
think I put in about 400. Oh no.
I see who put in 10,000.
Who did?
Callie.
Oh. Now that's a shame.
Reminder not to take Callie to any casinos anytime soon.
Yeah.
Understood.
Here's your stage 1 winner. Sitting on the front row, trying to win stage number 2 as well, trying to go back to back. Kissed the bricks last week, trying to conquer the beach this week. Pace car is off, we'll try it again. 50 laps remain.
Go, go, go!
The Myrtle Beach 200. Oh, Constantinu did not get into the corner very well. It didn't cause a wreck, but everybody checked up there. That gives Breo and Proudfoot some breathing room. Bia will hold on to third, so she does a nice job of retaining the position, but... And the yellow's out again.
For the 16th time.
Oh, and there's Sprinkle and Zier. God, Sprinkle just...
Sprinkle, Zier, and I believe that was the 90 of Easta.
I'll tell you, yeah, it was Sprinkle the first one around there, so, and Swatsworth got a piece of it.
That's
as did the 33.
Meredith. Not Meredith, that is Merchant.
Yeah.
And I think Sprinkle's day is done.
Yeah, I want to see how many X's that poor kid's got tonight. He's hit about everything but the snack bar. If you park next to him, I'd be a little nervous. Make sure your insurance policies are up to date.
Yeah.
Even if he's not going to back into you at this point, I feel like a freaking meteor is going to fall from the earth and take him and you out. So it's I've heard of if it's not your day, it's not your day. But holy moly, it is not Scott Sprinkle's day. A little bit of pit lane shenanigans, perhaps.
Any new takers there?
I think you kind of make your bet at this point, don't you? You only get another caution or two to really make anything of it. I think it's kind of, we're getting to that point where you're either committed to going the whole distance or you're, you know, going to pit now, so. The other thing too is these drivers up front, it's not as cut and dry as you would think, because as much as you want to run hard, you can't. We've only had about 4 or 5 laps at most of a green flag run. You're not taking a lot out of the tires because by the time you even get them back up to temperature, the cautions come back out again. So you look at the drivers who did pit. Josh Sosie's down in 12th, Height's down in 14th, Valentine's fallen to 15th, Overstat's 16th. They just aren't making the ground because there isn't a whole lot of time to make the ground yet. Look at somebody like Blake Henderson, who's made 10 pit stops today, versus someone like Jeremy Breo, who's made 1. They're both in the top 10. Here we go. Try it again. It'll be 43 to go at the line. Notwithstanding green-white checkers.
Flag in the air and away we go.
Good launch by Proudfoot, but Breo matches it.
Really good job trying to run out of turn 2.
Looks like he may clear, but goes a bit wide here. Should be able to clear out of turn 4, though. If he doesn't find the wall.
Keep an eye on that third place car. Bia had a really good restart that time. As
Much
Breo
better.
gets clear.
Yeah, she had a much better start than she did last time.
Car on the wall.
That was Peltier sharp. No harm, no foul.
Pretty wide, further back.
Caution.
Good advantage so far. Caution's out, overstep.
One of those cars that pit. Was there in the back. Let's have a look and see what happened. I was already losing it there. Got finished off by Poznanski. Going out of turn number 4. Have any help or just get loose? Oh, did get some help from Cole Snyder. And that's where he got finished off by Poznanski. Good job by everybody else around to miss. They've had a lot of practice tonight. And those who are wanting to hang on to those eddies, thinking we'd have less than 17.5 cautions, better hope that this group runs the 39 cleanest laps that they have ever ran. Newsflash, it's not going to happen.
Understanding cool. And you failed.
Pointing out, we have ran, by the time we go back to green, with the caution laps clicking away, we'll have officially ran 50% of this race behind the pace car. As of now.
Depressing.
You're telling me.
I didn't need to know that piece of information.
With the new stats that we have, the live statistics, we can watch our misery develop in real time.
I was waiting for it. Oh no.
Ran 80 of 163 behind the pace car, which means we'll run about 82 of 165, which is just under 50% by the time we get back to green flag racing, and I'm sure there's more on the horizon. So
Pace car has led 80 laps of this race,
which I think is actually more laps than either Breo or Valentine have.
Let me look and
Let's
see.
have a look. Yeah,
quick.
34 for Breo. Oh, I don't think this is even going to be close. Where's Valentine at? Still sitting 13th. 62. It's not even close.
Yeah,
Pace
not
car
even
has
close.
led the most laps today. And the only person who can really change that stat is Valentine, and he is sitting currently in 13th, so he's got it all to do. Boy, that's...
14 lead changes today.
Yeah, that's depressing. Not the lead changes part, but the...
I mean, yeah, they've been mostly under caution. For those wondering, I'm going to bring out the statistics here as we get ready to go back green. The record for HTL cautions is 20. We're 3 away.
Yeah. Be
Record
Breo.
for cautions on an ABM broadcast is 24, for those wondering.
We are hot on track to hit that, actually. I think we were tracking for 25 earlier. Breo and Proudfoot. Yeah, lead us down. Bia Constantinu all over the back bumper of Breo here. She is looking hungry.
We're looking for a race win here. Breo looking for his first.
Bia got all out of shape down the back straightaway. Nice save, though, but that's going to get the get up and go to Eli Sasek, who sends it deep into 3 and 4. And now they might be 3 wide for the final spot on the podium here.
Proudfoot tried to sing it into the inside there in 1 and 2. Didn't make it happen. Breo trying to hold on to win a race here.
Proudfoot looking for back-to-back. Bia looking for her second. She's still getting sideways, yeah. Sassek's had several podiums so far, looking for his first win. That's Gaiman up the hill, and the caution's out again. Was it Swatsworth? I don't think so, because he was so far behind, but let's have a look.
Yeah, it would be. No, it would not be.
Oh, it's 33
It's
a
Merchant.
Merchant. Oh my goodness, how did he get that out of shape? I feel like he had to have had help to be spinning around that quickly. LTA Sharp on the back bumper.
Second time they've gotten together.
Oh yeah.
Second time they've gotten together.
I'm not sure if he got loose first or got bumped first. Let's have another look at it and stop speculating and find out. Nah, he did. He got loose. He got loose the first time.
Loose to begin with, yeah.
Yeah, he got loose the first time, and Pelletier Sharp finished him off. So I'm glad we took another look at that, because it looked at from that first angle like Pelletier Sharp did the old 1-2 on him, but not the case. And that will officially determine the vote here, won't it? We've now hit 18, so we are over the 17.5 predicted cautions. And we still have quite a while to go. We're 2 away from an HTL record and 5 away from tying the ABN record.
The ability to set up another prediction.
Oh,
no. People can go for broke. Typically, this has to... There's Gally.
You know, I gotta drive her to the airport tomorrow morning. We better get this show on the road, eh? You know what I'm like when I don't get my beauty sleep. You know what I'm like when I do.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I was gonna keep my mouth shut.
It's the best thing you can do. Yeah. Yeah.
New prediction now for those watching live here. For those not watching live, why aren't you? But also, I get it. Playing devil's advocate on my own channel. Great.
For those that are watching live, why aren't you? No, I'm kidding. Catch the highlights. That's where it's at. We're teaching Carmen how to use DaVinci Resolve so she can finally make highlight videos at an elementary level. I'm gonna have to make you a document because you forget every time I show you. So.
Cyberpunk thing. Cyberpunk is in my head, and there's nothing else in here.
Yeah,
like,
I've had
these past 20.
I don't want to hear it. I've been missing out on the DLC because I've had real people in my house for the last month.
That's a skill issue.
It is a skill issue indeed, but not quite the skill issue as 18 cautions in 170 laps.
2 away from the HTL record, or tying the HTL record. We're 6 away from tying the ABN record, which was the NSR race at Martinsville.
Oh, fantastic.
It's a shame that I have that up on my head.
It's hard to forget when you're scarred
Over
that bad.
25 laps to go. Rayo and Proudfoot side by side. Once again, Constantine in 3rd place. A good run for her. Proudfoot kept it level there.
Update.
Rayo's not going to be afraid to be visible.
Update on the tire takers. Sosi and Height, 10th and 9th respectively. Valentine 18th. Parker's 12th. They're all kind of moving up as a collective group, but they're just now piercing the top 10, and look at Bianca Constantinou making a big move on Breo for P2. Not sure that it's going to work, but props to her for giving it a go.
Staying in this conversation, though.
Yeah.
But I think, unfortunately, I think the smartest thing for her right now is just try to see if Proudfoot and Breo get together and try to pick them off.
Well, I don't know, because I agree with you there, but also as a rookie, she's still learning how these ovals work. She's been getting better and better every week. I like seeing her make that move because it's going to build her confidence later. I think she's going to be a real threat come the end of the season everywhere. We've already seen how good she is at road courses. She was doing good last week until she made that mistake at Indy, but caution's out again. That sounded like a crunchy one, and it is. Who was that? That E-step? No, it's the 12th Poznansky.
Poznansky around backwards.
Can't park there, dude. And that's Moutre. Moutre not usually one to get into. Oh my goodness, Zier was 3 wide with Denny and Moutre and Poznanski pretty well cleared himself. So when they were all on top of each other like that, somebody was going to make a move similar to that, and Poznanski just ran out of racetrack. Moutre didn't want to lift, and I don't know that Moutre really even knew that he was going to have to lift in that scenario.
Guy's there.
It's kind of like what we saw earlier. What was it? It wasn't Moutre, was it, that cleared himself earlier? It was somebody.
No.
I'm trying to think. We saw that earlier down the backstretch today. Somebody just kind of moved right up in front of somebody. Car high. When they say car high, it's not car saying hello. It's car above you. As in, don't move up the track. I kid because I care. One away from tying the HTL record now, and at this point I'm here for it. Let's just go for 30 cautions. Unlimited green white checkers in this series. We'll be getting the green flag with just under 20 to go. Why not? I'm an agent of chaos. I know you are too, Carmen. Don't act like don't sit there and not back me up on this. Let's go. 45
My
cautions.
most recent race win was me causing the big one at Chicagoland and going on to win. So yeah, I'm not going to deny it.
My most recent race win was just leading every lap, but you know, sorry, I never get to. I never win like that. Yeah, I never get to win one like that. So I gotta punch that one in there. It's probably the first time I've ever.
Operator. We're not hearing that song tonight.
Smooth operator.
We have had 19 cautions for 90 laps so far.
Which means that if we get a handful more caution laps, we will have run at least half this race under caution, which is just
mint.
I'll take a page out of Ken Squire's book, and I'm gonna say this word, but maybe not with the connotation it usually does. That's absolutely awesome. Not awesome good, just I am in awe at what I'm seeing. Carmen, I am flabbergasted. I'm Smeckledorfed even.
Smooth operator. Oh, now that song's in my head. I was actually listening to it this morning.
Smooth operator. Yeah, anything but for this one, I think. Although,
Rayo.
yeah, these cats up front have been doing a pretty nice job. It's the squirrels in the back that have been causing most of the issues. We'll see what the leaders can do. Proudfoot and Braille lead us down. Can Constantinu try and make another charge? She has a half a look. And don't count out the 61. He's not done yet either. And
in the door, and there's 20.
Man, oh man. Well, what is it this time, lads? 3 wide. It never works.
First.
Never will. Henderson and Height sandwich the 38. Or, well,
Height was in the sandwich there.
Height was in the sandwich.
And unfortunately there with 3 wide, Parker's moves, I think, moved up there a little bit. And
yeah, we'll have to take another look at that. I would reckon. Because if we could get a helicopter view of that, that would probably be helpful. Here it is. Oh no, Height came down a little bit. It looked like Height got loose and Parker's came up. It was one of those deals.
This is so hard to do because, like, Height knows she's 3 wide because she knows that Henderson's threw her outside too. She doesn't want to go up and put Henderson in the wall if he's already close.
Yeah.
There's only so much that she can do there, but yeah, she comes out a little bit trying to give Henderson space. And
I'm sure that's going to make Henderson mad. Height has not been making friends lately. Not that that was something she was ever here to do, but
I also don't think that was her intent was to give Henderson space.
No, I agree. I'm just saying Henderson's been quick to point the finger. They've been very quick to point the finger at that 11 car for everything, so I'm sure there's going to be...
Henderson right now ahead of height, 9th and 10th there.
Yeah. Well, remember they were on the new tires trying to work their way through, or at least Height was, and Valentin's still buried back there. I really think they threw their shot away. I don't know. I don't think pitting was quite the right call, but I could still be wrong. Sosi's in 8th, but I don't know. With the way this race has gone, they were really banking on a green flag run that never came. And
I don't know if they were banking on a green flag run that never came, or they were banking on the leaders taking each other out. Like, there's an either or to that situation, but we've just not seen either.
I don't feel like it's that one, because when you put yourself in the back like that, you're basically opening yourself up to get caught up in whatever they get caught up in too, you know? It's one of those kind of situations. But
95 laps under caution so far tonight.
And we will be at least 97 by the time we go green again, so one more caution will officially make it halfway under yellow, which I don't know, from a league perspective, Carmen, is there, you're a league owner yourself, is there anything you can do about this to say, hey guys, come on, we gotta get our crap together here? Or is it just the nature of the beast?
I think everyone was kind of resigned to this race being the way it was. No one worked to avoid it, I think. There's definitely the have and have-nots. There's a huge conversation that can kind of go into why this is the way it is, and I think it's more than just like a league operating level, because it comes down to the drivers too.
Absolutely.
That's a heavy layered conversation. I don't think that we're ready for this broadcast, but pace car is in, coming to the green flag for the 20th restart tonight, and Breo got a good jump that time.
Yeah, he did, but Proudfoot packed it in pretty deep. And Breo tags the wall, so that's going to give Proudfoot the room that he needs, but he drives in deep, and he gets moved.
He drives in really deep and got moved for his trouble. And now it's Proudfoot having to defend for both Constantinu and
Thompson up the hill in the background too. She got moved out of the way. Constantinu and Gaiman, as you mentioned, still fighting with one another for the final spot on the podium. There's Sosi. Yeah, fresh tires finally coming, but is it too late for them to make an impact? I think it might be, especially when they're 3 wide, but they're bouncing off one another. Sasek and Height make contact while Valentin tries to find a way around his teammate.
Long lane right now.
Yeah, there's just go. But you gotta try to fill any hole you can with the limited time available. Breo leads by 3 car lengths over Proudfoot, then Gaiman, Bia, and Sosi. Sosi, caution.
Caution's out. Caitlin Height. And that's a huge impact. That was the yellow car. I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, that may have been...
Was it the 4?
I don't think it's the 4. The 4 is sitting up in 8th place. It may have been... That looks like that might have been Merchant that we saw.
Let's take another look at it here. Not really sure.
Because Meredith made it through as well. There's Apperson already.
Oh, Hyde just lost it on her own, didn't she?
Yeah, a little bit too much gas. There's Meredith and then Merchant.
Meredith and Thompson. Oh, yeah, Merchant and Sharp. Oh, my goodness. I didn't see that on the initial.
Yeah.
That was a horrendous hit for both of them, really. And Merchant.
Huge impact there.
That's not the first hit Merchant's taken tonight. That's really rattled him either. Yeah, here, these two. Yeah, Merchant comes down on Sharp, and they just absolutely find each other.
Time.
Rare that we see a mistake like that out of Height too, but they're pushing hard. They're trying to make the most of their tires. They know that these cars on new tires know they don't have a whole lot of time. She just loses it. We've seen lots of people dropping it all day out of turn number 2, and when you're in the middle of the racetrack like that, it's just a matter of time. That's a huge hit. I mean, Peltier Sharp is going to get whiplash from that one because she got tagged in the right rear and then smacked into the back end. We know she runs on VR as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if she's not a little bit sick after that one. Definitely woke her up, though, that's for sure. And this will now punch our ticket to infamy. 100 of the 194 laps we have ran today behind the pace car. Make that 101 of 195. We have now broken the record in HTL for most cautions in a single event. And we're only 2 away from tying the record of an ABN broadcast. With only 5 laps to go, you'd think, well, at least you won't hit that. No, I'm afraid. Unlimited green, white, checkered attempts, which we used a record 5 at Pocono. Yeah. Which is a shame, because that's what everyone's going to be talking about, and rightfully so. But this top 6 or 7 has been phenomenal up front. We've seen some great racing when we've been able to have racing, but that's just the problem then, isn't it, Carmen?
Unfortunately. And, you know, when we saw the counter come out, Myrtle Beach was immediately served as a race of intrigue.
Not for the right reasons.
Intrigue being the train wreck.
Yeah. And here's why. You got Sosi on fresh tires in the USPS machine, as with the 91. Everybody else on old tires. Only 3 to go in regulation. It is Breo on the inside and Proudfoot on the outside. Green flag back in the air. Proudfoot trying to charge hard on that outside lane, trying to hang on the 88. Not going to be able to do it, though. The 88 of Breo clears, but it's not going to matter. We're going to go to overtime.
Yeah, another track blockage there.
Yeah,
Snyder, Zier.
I'm afraid I'm out of things to say. Yeah, Zier is probably... Oh, they're already killing each other. Hold on. Still dialing in
that as well.
Yeah, well, they're coming in 3 wide. That's never a good sign.
Selena Thompson in 03.
Clips Snyder, and it's going to go downhill from there. Nowhere for Zier to go. Height gets into the back of her. That's how the 38 gets caught up in this. Unfortunate.
Yeah, it's all blockage right there.
Yeah, so unfortunate for Mark Parkhurst, who had done so well today. Got into the back and never made his way back up. He just, you get back there and you're never to be seen again. And it's a shame. And that's the same thing, too, where it's going to be interesting because Sosi on fresh tires is still only in 5th and has got so much fresher tires than these cars in front, but it doesn't really matter because there's maybe only 20 laps of racing on these leaders' tires. And on top of that, where do you go? We saw it already with Height and the 91 of Valentine. Where do you put the car even with those fresh tires? You can't do much with them. And now it's a matter of if you have enough fuel in the car, which I feel like everybody up here should have, but after what we saw at Pocono, who knows? But yeah, 1 away from tying the ABN record.
I will say that it's taken a little bit for tempers to really begin to flare, but we got there.
Yeah, I knew we would. I wonder who, though. I think
that's Swatsworth that was on the mic there.
That's interesting, because I don't even know that Swatsworth was in that wreck.
Well, he was stuck a lap down because he was like he didn't get a wave around or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know the full situation because like apparently driver chat was disabled for a period of time, so drivers couldn't communicate.
Yeah, that's going to cause big issues.
Yeah,
you kind of need to have that. I especially when you take away the live admin, who can't keep tabs on those things anyway. But this isn't the first thing. I know we're going back green here, but this is not the first time HTL's had an event like this. It seems like we go out, we have 2 or 3 fantastic races, and then we just have an absolute embarrassment. And a couple times we've had a back-to-back. There's got to be something that collectively can be done here, but I guess that's neither here nor there.
That's gonna get a huge conversation for a different period of time.
See what these 4 stars at the front can do. 6, I guess I'd say. We'll try it again. First overtime attempt. And a much better job by Proudfoot this time. Gonna lean on the quarter panel, knocks the wall down. Oh, gets into the back of the 88 Abreu, scoots him up the hill. 1 lap to go now. And now the roles are reversed. Proudfoot getting the elbows out. Here comes Bia Constantinu. She gets sideways. They're all running each other over. Proudfoot has some clear daylight. Coming into the final corner, and in a bump and run and bail, they wreck behind, but Brandon Proudfoot will go back to back. Then it's going to be Breo, and how about Constantinu coming across for her second podium. And I'll tell you what, Carmen, it would have been a fantastic race if it wasn't for everything in between. But congratulations to Brandon Proudfoot, who gets his second win on the season in spectacular fashion. Back-to-back wins and skyrockets up the chase standings with that. And he'll burn it down on the front straightaway. It was a nice little short track finish. Something Proudfoot's familiar with, something he's so good at, and after winning on one of the most historic tracks on the calendar, he's going to put it in victory lane on what'll probably be the only race that HTL has at Myrtle Beach, if I had to take a guess. Congratulations to him. He's done a fantastic job. He was one of the few cars that's been up front all day long, and when push came to shove, he did it right. He moved the 88, but didn't wreck him. And it was a textbook bump and run for Proudfoot to get his second victory in a row. And as they all scrambled behind him, he was ripe for the picking. Not much else to say other than that. Great job. See if we can't talk to him in a moment here. See if we can't rewind here.
It'll be very interesting hearing how this podium is. Obviously, Bia's going to be over the moon to finish third here.
Yeah, she did a great job, especially with how sideways she got on that restart here. Now here, let's take a look back at it again, because this is what we were trying to gather. This is the last restart of the race. We'll go to chopper view here and give you a nice view. So here comes the pace car pulling off, that 20 and the 88 side by side. Now this is where it just starts to get a bit crazy back here behind them. Off into turn 1, side by side. Proudfoot did a nice job. He just about hung on the last restart. Couldn't do it this time. Made sure he could keep the nose in there, and then he just absolutely puts bumper to bumper on the 88. Scoots him out of the way, does what he needs to do. They're wheel to wheel here. They run each other hard off into turn number 2 here. Bia gets into the back of the 88, and the 61 gets into her. And that's what gave the 20 car the freedom that he needed. Frankly, to get out of there. And then as they're all trying to wreck behind here off into the final corner, you'll see Sosie's going to get turned by Gaiman, and they're all going to start scattering as a result of that. So Bia, who got loose out of turn 2, fell to 5th, but because they're all busy wrecking each other here in the last corner, that allowed her to sneak by for 3rd. That allowed Sasek to sneak by for 4th, and I think that's Valentine who will end up with 5th, which he'll be disappointed with that, given the dominance that car had today, but still, all things considered, not too bad. But this is heartbreaking for Sosie, who is going to lose I mean, just spot after spot after spot. Henderson gets nailed at the end there. Denny. I mean, that's half the admin team in the junkyard there on the last turn. Plus Gaiman, who once again throws away a good opportunity, though I don't know if he had help there. I'm not really sure what happened in that final corner. But again, Gaiman looking in a great position and ends up in a horrible spot by the end of it all here. Let's have a look. Sosi got into the back of Breo, and then Gaiman was also driving it in deep. So that's how that happened. I wouldn't really say that was the classic Gaiman you-know-what step we've seen the last couple weeks. That was just unfortunate, but there they all go. We'll look at it one more time and ride on board with your race winner of Proudfoot, because it was an exciting one to ride on board for. Carmen, walk us through this one.
Yeah, this is a very interesting sort of restart here. Obviously, watching on board with Proudfoot. Breo, I think, does a really good job to time this. And Proudfoot was making sure he stayed on it as well. Obviously, the restarts were on green. And Breo almost gets clear, but I don't think it would matter if Breo got clear here or not, because Proudfoot backed out of it just to make sure he could get to the bumper of the 88 and move back underneath of him. Proudfoot knew he wanted the inside lane. He got it. Didn't wreck Breo at all. Obviously, some drivers are going to be very unhappy with some of the driving standards here tonight for various different reasons, but he didn't wreck him. He didn't completely abuse him. He just moved him up a lane and got below him. That was, as far as short track racing goes, if that's a move you're upset with Proudfoot and Breo, then you don't watch any short track racing at all. Between late models, modified, street stocks, Xfinity, that's how you have to do that. And obviously, Breo's not happy because he got moved.
And here's the thing, too. How many times have we talked about how much short track experience Proudfoot has, how much wheel-to-wheel, fender-to-fender racing experience he has? He has honed his skills on this kind of thing. And to contrast that, how many times have we seen people go, oh, well, that's short track racing, that's just how it is, as they send it off at a turn 3, completely dump the leader, and cause a 12-car pileup? Proudfoot didn't do that. He moved him, gave Breo room, they went side-by-side into 1 and 2, and he just had the lane that he needed. It was aggressive. It wasn't the cleanest thing in the world, but it's short track racing. If you're looking for clean racing, like you said, you're in the wrong place. So I think he did what he had to do.
Given what we've seen this race, you look at all the incidents here and everything. We're looking at a race that had 22 cautions for 110 caution laps. If you're mad about a pass that required a little bit of contact where nobody spun, you're mad at the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You're mad at the worst possible thing.
There's a lot more to be angry about, trust me.
Like if you're being, especially some of the people that are, and I am going to call some people that are in the chat right now, because I will lose my temper here for a second. Some of the people that are in this chat have no room to talk when you're 175th of 178 drivers you've broadcasted this year in incident points. Austin Mongold, you're one of them. So unless you're able to actually pull off what Brown and Proudfoot did tonight, don't have room to talk. Brown and Proudfoot, clinical finish tonight as far as short track racing goes. People are going to be unhappy because there's contact, but Proudfoot, as far as contact goes, did the perfect job. That is a bump and run textbook. And
we saw Breo do the same thing earlier in the race. It's just how you race these deals. And sure, it's frustrating that Breo was on the bad end of it this time. And I mean, Proudfoot sent it for sure, but how many times have we seen somebody do that and not make it work and just wreck everybody? I mean, that's what they did in the last corner. That's about as good as it's going to get. And on a track like this with a race that we've had here, come on. We're not going to have a Formula One wheel-to-wheel finish. It was going to be, for lack of better terms, the whole race has been a shit show. It was going to be a shit show finish, and we got one. But it was about as clean as it could be for what it was. So, and I don't like short track racing, but that's how it goes. That's how you win a short track race. That's how you go about winning these things. And he did what he had to do. It's what he gets paid to do. Poor James, but that's why he pays what he pays. So congrats to him. But we'll talk to somebody who we know for sure is going to be happy after that. We have Bianca Constantinou on with us now. And Bia, this is Carmen and Kristina in the ABM booth. You got a copy?
Yep, I got you. Hi.
Yeah, exciting scramble to the finish there for you. An up and down day, but you spent most of the final half of that race up front, never seemed to let go. Besides a scary last lap, walk us through what happened there and getting back on the podium.
Yeah, honestly, okay, starting 35th, again, I wasn't expecting much from this race, especially it being a short track. Was kind of expecting to wreck out early, and, well, kind of did. Somehow didn't get damaged. That was my really lucky break. Just staying clean, I guess. We were a lap down until lap 100. We spent the first half of the race essentially fighting to get that lucky dog. Once we got it, though, it was game on, and once we got to that top 5-ish, I was trying to go for the win, at least a podium, and I can be very happy with this. But I don't know. Restart, well, okay. Those last 20 laps were incredibly tense with all the restarts. I started to get really nervous, but kind of played out well at the end. It's a shame that ended up getting bumped by my own teammate. Well, not teammate for this race, but regardless. Yeah, overall a good day still. I mean, I can be really happy with 36th to 3rd, so yeah. Just fun passing cars all around. Short tracks aren't usually my thing, but this was really, really fun somehow. Also, since I did this last time, only person I really want to shout out right now is my mom for letting me race, and also Zachary Meredith for giving me the chance to drive in the 13 charter, because if I had qualified the 57 into this race, I wouldn't have made it, because I screwed up qualifying. I tried to downshift into the corners, but I didn't do it right, but ended up being fine in the end.
All right, well, you made the interview real easy. Thank you so much, Bia, and congratulations on another podium and a great effort on the oval.
Thank you.
That is a media personnel's favorite kind of interview.
Absolutely. I think we're going to get some more interesting characters here for the rest of the podium.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be a very interesting sort of dichotomy in this the rest of this podium interview, though. Will be a fantastic job for her. 3 races in a row that she's been phenomenal pace-wise, and another piece of hardware for her to show off here, finishing 3rd tonight. Up next, though, Jeremy Brejo. He's going to have his thoughts and opinions, and you can tell pretty quickly that they are not communicating with each other in that waiting room. So let's ease the tension in that room, I feel, a little bit here and talk to Brejo.
Jeremy, this is Kristina and Carmen at the ABM booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, it was move or be moved, as it typically is in short tracks, and unfortunately you were on the be moved end of things. Walk us through that closing stages of the race and how you feeling after, well, there was a race in there somewhere.
Yeah, the race was about for 5 minutes, and then there was a caution, and then 5 more minutes of racing, and then whatever at the end. Yeah, I don't know what else I could have done. I mean, I guess I should have just walled him off at 2 completely and just killed him. That would be my only shot at winning that race. But the restart before that, I knew, because he, like, as soon as the caution came out, as soon as we got into 3, like, he completely destroyed me. So I knew it was coming. There was no surprise there. It was just, it kind of sucked that I couldn't get back to him. I should have just let him go on the front stretch, but then I would have probably got wrecked. So second's not bad. Second sucks though. Could have won it, but I don't know. I mean, I want to be mad at him, but I probably would have done the same thing. So good for him. But
that's what I wanted to ask you is do you feel like that move was maybe a little over aggressive, or is that just chalked up to that short track racing? That's how these races are going to go, especially when it's been a bit of a wreck fest leading up to it.
I mean, I would have tried to probably work them a little bit more than just running me over, but that's how he wanted to race. So I don't know. Maybe I ran into him at some point earlier in the race and he just thought I deserved it, but I don't know. I don't know what I did or I could have done better. I just tried to get the best restart I could. Both of those last restarts, I was the leader and just got demolished. So, I mean, I didn't get completely demolished. I mean, I finished second, but still, it just sucks.
Yeah, I can imagine the frustration for sure, but again, still a good finish. Held on for P2 there, especially we got a little hairy in the final corner. Still solid P2. Obviously, you probably felt you had the car to win today, but a good effort and another good run for you moving forward. What's the thoughts headed into the next races you make attempts for?
Well, I know next week's Talladega, so I'm definitely not working with the 22. I know that for a fact. Yeah, that's just a crapshoot too. I mean, that's just a crapshoot in a different way. Just hope you don't get caught up in somebody else's mess and don't get destroyed there. But it's a roll of the dice there. So just better start getting my bad luck out of the way and just start buying scratch tickets or something so I can get all that out of the way.
Alrighty, well, if there's anybody you want to shout out, still a solid finish. You led 62 laps today and started from the very back to do it. Of course, it was one short from where you wanted to be and probably where you felt you deserved, but still a really good effort.
Yeah, I want to thank you and Carmen for putting on the broadcast. You guys put on a hell of a broadcast every week, so thank you guys. I mean, you give us a lot of exposure and you put a lot of effort in, so thank you guys first and foremost. You do a lot, so thank you. And I got to thank Smill Racing Designs. He and his wife put together these awesome paint schemes, so got to thank them. 213 Simware. I know they're only on this car. Well, they're on this car every week, but I don't really usually work with them, so thank for them for coming on, and just thanks for everybody else who supports me. It means a lot.
All right, well, that's Jeremy Breo, P2. A little frustrated, but still a great effort and a great job today, Jeremy. Congrats.
Thank you.
Well, there's two sides to every story, Carmen, and we still have one more person to talk to, and that would be our now two-time back-to-back race winner, Brandon Proudfoot. We'll pull him up now. And Brandon, this is Carmen and Kristina in the ABM booth. You got a copy?
Yep, I got you.
Well, it was a hectic finish. You and Jeremy stayed towards the front most of the race. All the chaos was really going on behind you, but in those last few laps, push came to shove, literally. Walk us through those last few restarts.
Sketchy all around. I mean, everyone will agree with me whether you finished first or in 35th. There's really no reason that 53.6% of the laps should be under caution. Granted, yes, 2 of those are under a stage, but it shouldn't account to that. As far as the last few laps, it was just kind of everybody's temper leading up to it. I know I jumped a restart, Jeremy jumped a restart. Everybody was just getting antsy and was anticipating the end. And tempers were flaring both front and back of the field. And at the end, it was just last lap. It came down to short track racing. Jeremy put me into the wall coming out of 2. And I did listen to his interview. He said I destroyed him. I moved him up a half a lane, and we were side by side coming out of the corner. At a track with very low embankment. It's not like we're at a high bank track, so if that's destroyed, he needs to come over to the dirt side to see what his slide job is. But otherwise, yeah, it was just caution through and through, and really the end was just like the beginning.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you if you could go back and replay those last couple laps. Is there anything you would have done different there, or would you have, like I said, it seems like I think that a lot of the general consensus is that short track racing, but is there anything you would have changed?
I would have started earlier. Now, in all seriousness, I don't think there would be. I mean, I didn't completely wreck out Jeremy. We were side by side going into the next corner, and he just happened to have all more aggressive drivers out the back also trying to race for the win. And you guys seen all night that it was 50-50. The people that were on the outside very well could have gotten a run down the back. If he didn't get moved there, it's possible that he could have squeezed me going into 1 and 2, and I could have gotten a shot in 3 and 4. So I think the circumstances put it to where it's, you said it best, it was just short track racing, and the variables that played out.
Well, for you, it's still a great effort. Of course, you've got your second win of the season, and you do it in incredible fashion, back-to-back wins. You won at Indianapolis, drank the milk, the chalky milk and the Dino Nuggies. You get to kiss the bricks, and now you come back here and win on a short track, a place where you're a lot more accustomed to the moves and the etiquette and whatnot, and it really was on display today. Moving forward now, you're very much starting to make yourself a threat within the point standings. Planning to carry that momentum and do any more dark horsing, or are you here to stay?
I'm not exactly sure how the points fall out. I know after Talladega, I'll actually be taking over the number 31 charter from Mr. Kevin. So I don't know how the points will fall with that. I know the car points will be different, but there's details in the background which I'm not entirely sure of. But I'm just gonna try to be as much of a dark horse I get, I guess. Whether I'm on horse A or B.
Well, it is 2 back-to-back for car 2-0. If there's anybody you want to shout out, now would be the time to say it. If not, congrats on another win in spectacular fashion here at Myrtle Beach.
First and foremost, you guys here at ABN for doing the broadcasting. Obviously, doing 205 laps of caution. You guys get a lot to talk about, and I've been there. You start to run out. And obviously, you guys get your tempers too, and try to hold it to your own. So, give it to you guys. Everybody over at HTL, as stressful it is doing that much caution laps, if it wasn't for the drivers, none of us would be here in the first place. So, well, we do get frustrated at one another. The other day, we'd come back next week anyway. Everybody over at Stepping Stone, practicing doing what they do. And, on to next week, I suppose. Talladega's going to be fun.
It's a lot more fun when you got 2 wins in the bank heading in, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, congrats, Brandon, on another win, and we will talk to you maybe next week. Take care. Have a good time.
You as well. Have a good night, everybody.
So, Carmen, that'll do it for a chaotic race at Myrtle Beach, to put it lightly. Says a lot when even the race winner is talking about how many caution flags we had and how excessive it was. But yeah, I think I gotta say it was an aggressive move, but I think we set our piece on this. That's short track racing, and I don't like that move, but I don't like short track racing. That's just how it is. Welcome to short tracks.
It was very indicting from Jeremy when he said, I probably would have tried something similar.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's
sort of the thing. Like, everyone's gonna approach that differently.
Yeah.
Like, Proudfoot didn't just straight up dump somebody. It's not like.
Well, here's the flip side too. If it was the same way around, and like Proudfoot said, if he got back to him in 3 and 4, Proudfoot had every right to be frustrated too. That's how it works. You're gonna be frustrated when it happens. You're gonna be, mad at the dude that moved you. But that's how it works. That's how this kind of racing is, and love it or hate it, that's what short tracks are about. And some people will swear up and down it's the best racing you'll ever see, and some people wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot barge pole, but that's short track racing. So it is quite literally the definition of don't hate the player, hate the game. Boy, oh boy, we hate the game sometimes.
Next week's going to be the same way for different reasons.
Exactly.
Racing at Talladega, so complete extremes here is what we're finding here these next 2 weeks here in the HTL Cup Series. Brown Proudfoot, 2 race wins in a row to help secure his ticket in to the playoffs.
Absolutely, and here are the unofficial results from Myrtle Beach Speedway before we head to the 2.66-mile monolith in Alabama. Proudfoot wins his 2nd straight race after an exciting finish with Jeremy Breau. Bianca Constantinou, we talked to her, another strong finish for the Romanian, and she puts it in the final slot on the podium. And then Ascent comes up with strong finishes with Eli Sasek leading Rudy Valentine to a double top 5 for them. And then after this, that's pretty much where the fast cars end, and it's just a scramble behind. Those 5 were up front most of the day, at least through the final half. Nathan Estep, Selena Thompson, Zach Apperson, Katie Height, Zach Meredith, all kind of lucky tonight.
Obviously, strategy calls did not pay off there. So you look at drivers like Height, you look at drivers like Meredith, just not really anything they can do there. Obviously, they got through the melee. Cole Snyder finished 11th. He had a fair share of melee. Same with Lilac Sear in 12th place. Ryan Pinnell, didn't say much about him at all tonight. And I think we mentioned him maybe once early on in this race. 13th place for him, not a bad route effort at all for that 2 car. Steven Evers at 14th, the short track series leader in the ARCS competition, sitting 14th there, filling in for Kevin Gimney Jr. Mark Parkhurst spent a lot of time up at the front of the race early on, only got to cover to 15th place, Josh Gaiman ended up 16th place after being across the line in 3rd place. Going into the white flag lap. Alfred Denny 17th. Blake Henderson again. I mean, it's a sad state of affairs for Henderson when this is his best finish in almost 2 months. Goes all the way back to the Daytona Road Course, his last finish in the top 20.
Yeah,
18th place for him with Sosi and Peltier Sharp running up the top 20.
Yeah, you mentioned that this is Henderson's best finish. The flip side is this is Sosi's worst, and he was also sitting in the top 5 about 100 feet before the start-finish line. Big heartbreaks for everybody in that little collection. Lily Peltier Sharp, you mentioned coming in P20, not the race she wanted to have, but considering she clobbered the pit wall at about a rate of Mach 1, not too bad to come back for a top 20. We've seen
on the lead lap too.
Yeah, on the lead lap. Shades of the old Straight Talk IndyCar series where a certain somebody finished without a rear wing on their champ car machine. Yeah, I don't know. Wonder what she's up to. Scott Poznansky came 21st with Shad Slotsworth 22nd, Nathan Lehman 23rd, and Gary Donaldson 24th. This is where we started to have a lot more of the drivers that did not see the checkered flag. Jared Merchant, it was a horrible day for him. Finally came to an end 22 laps before the checkers. Likewise for Ryan Moutre, they found each other, and they found each other in the infield to maybe at least crack a beer and talk about how horrible that race was. Scott Sprinkle in the horrible, terrible, no good, very bad race. I cannot believe this poor guy finished 62 laps down. It felt like he was there to the very end getting punched and kicked. Was rewarded 27th for his troubles, so beats 9 other drivers, but goodness gracious, they've got to catch a break in that 05 car eventually, but hopefully they used up all their bad luck in one race here. Matthew Boone looked strong early on, but it just fell apart for him. Likewise for Connor Morris, caught up in incidents and never quite could recover. Again, also, Joel Rodriguez, all 3 of those drivers had a fantastic run going at some point, and they all got caught up in the melee.
A little bit further down, Ruby Estes crashed so hard her entire system froze, and it kicked her out of the race, and that was sort of curtains for the 99 car. John Hagan, I think, retiring on his own, realizing that this race was just not worth the stress, taking his 32nd place finish and moving on to Talladega without taking any penalties, I believe.
Yeah.
He stayed out of trouble here. Dylan McDonald, also an early retirement, only got to see 50. I think maybe a little over 55 laps. I think he might have retired closer to 60 here. We had that one green flag checkered attempt. Josh Arnold 34th, Hunter Peachtree 5th. Chris Pindell, the last car to start this race, last car to finish this race, 36th place. And then you look a little bit further down, 3 DNQs, Flowers, Santiago, and Galloway.
Yeah, it's a race that was marred in controversy, and it's a shame that this is about the 3rd or 4th time we've said that this season, because otherwise everything in between's been great racing. It's just we really struggle to get to the racing, don't we, Carmen? There's definitely going to be a lot to talk about, and I'm glad that we don't have to be the ones to be in the I'd love to be a fly on the wall, but I'm glad we don't have to be the ones in the hot seat making those discussions.
Yeah, same with me. I get to be back here tomorrow. Get a little warm up for the plate racing that we'll be seeing next week. We have the Truck Series tomorrow night here on ABN Esports 1. Obviously Talladega next week. Hopefully we get something a little bit similar to what the 300 was. The 300 was fun, and this group typically puts on pretty good plate races. So I think hopefully we can get back to form. But yeah, we need to put South Carolina behind us really quickly. We won't be back here again until Darlington later on in the season. I think it's actually in the playoffs, the first round of the playoffs. So have a little bit of space between us and South Carolina for a little bit. But Brandon Proudfoot, race winner for the 2nd time this season. A fantastic job for that Stepping Stone Motorsports crew, with a lot of racing going on left this week. We still have 4 streams this week to get things ironed out.
Yeah, absolutely. You can catch that all on ABN1. I will be back with you, Carmen, for the HTL Cup Series. This next visit in Alabama, it'll be the home race for Selena Thompson, who gets another top 10 tonight. We will be seeing you then for what HTL does best, and they are desperately needing a race to go well. Best wishes that we get a good plate race there. It'll be a fun one to watch. It'll be an exciting one, and we're not going to want to miss 1 second of that. It'll be next Monday here on ABN1. But until next time, so long and take care. From Carmen, Sienna, I'm Kristina Ryan. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time here on ABN.